Well, that was a little odd, and that didn't work quite right. I think my computer's dying, but that's okay. We have enough CPU power for today's show. And yeah, gremlins are at it again. Absolutely, without a doubt. All right, guys, I'm Jahlon. This is the Paradox Gaming Network, and it's the end of a busy week. I'm not gonna lie. This week was very busy. I wanna highlight something real quick, and then we're gonna get started. And the big thing is Ashes 101. Big thank you to my HTML ninjas in my community. We have completely revamped this navigation wise. It is neater, it is cleaner, it is really what I wanted the site to look like. So there's no more of that runner down where my head is. There's no more of that runner down the side. And then when you go into each of the individual pages, very nice, neat right hand side presentation on this side, and then the bar. Oh, let me move myself. The bar sticks as you scroll down, so you always can navigate from the left hand side. So big thanks to those guys who made that a possibility. Hundreds of man hours of work, literally them having to go in, not only just build it, but a lot of people had to go in there and read my horrible code, read my horrible CSS. I made a lot of mistakes in my CSS layout, but those guys worked their butt off. So I spent the last week, literally, if I wasn't streaming and I wasn't making a video and I wasn't taking just a little bit of time off for my family, I've been working on getting it all of Ashes 101 over to the new template. So that's done. I have a long week ahead of me still, though. I gotta go through. I got a lot of header work to do, so that's gonna take some time. And then the whole thing has to be rewritten. Organically, there's been a lot of changes. I want to let you guys know that the Word document is 27,000 words so far, and a master's thesis is between 20,000 and 60,000. My master's thesis was upward near the 60,000 mark. This is going to be longer. So I'm going to do a quick pass on the cleanup. If you guys find mistakes, let me know. And then I'll get those fixed, and then I'm going to do a lot of organic writing. Game first, family second. Actually, my family wanted me to get done, just go all in and get done with that change. My family kind of talked to me, and they're like, just get your template done, because as long as you're trying to hold all the other things in your head, you're not here, really. So if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, they wanted me to go ahead and get that done. So I got that done. That's finished. Now I can work on it a piece at a time. You know what I'm saying? Now that the overall transition is done. But my family supports what I'm doing. My teenager wants to get into content creation, so I encourage her. You guys will see that there's a poll going on. A little bit of time left. That's a poll, a holdover from the last show. So I wanted to make sure to get that one out. What else has been going on? Oh yeah, guys. I'm trying to make sure the channel looks good, right? I want to make sure the channel looks good for the Twitch partner application that I'm going to be putting in about 3 weeks. The numbers right now look great. We're at 72 people. Kick some rocks, get some friends in here, get your guildies in here. We got to maintain that. We got to maintain that 75 average at a minimum. If we don't have that 75 average as a minimum, that's actually going to hurt the show. I actually want to make partner for the reason of bringing a lot of people along with me. I've got some plans for a lot of these good content creators. So Twitch partner opens some of that. But I do want to share with you, the emotes went over really well. And you'll notice if you are a subscriber, all 5 of your emotes are there. But what's missing is my tier 2 and tier 3 subscribers. You didn't have anything special. So I went back to the guy and I commissioned new emotes. And yeah, I'm really digging round 2 of the emotes. You'll notice some people, like Frostpaw, he has the sack of gold bars because he's been a subscriber for a long time. So we got that taken care of. And then you'll notice there's some other cool ones. I got the emotes made so I can also put them on the merchandise. If you guys saw the video earlier this week, I used one of the new emotes on the thumbnail. So now I'm getting some tools in the toolbox. That's thanks to you guys. Like, just keep pressing and motivating me to make the show better. What else we got? I want to talk to you about. Oh yeah, some of you have already found it. Some of you have already found it, and you've been contributing to the treasure chest. There is a treasure chest challenge going on. A lot of you have been hanging out with me long hours. Everything with the business is working out. Well. So what we have here is, and I am going to get an actual treasure chest on the desk, but we've got a little envelope here, and there's something inside. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's inside, but if the treasure chest gets opened, a puppy? I don't know. I don't think a puppy could fit in here, but maybe. But is it more leaks from Steven? It could be leaks from Steven. I am an official content creator. It could be a key of some sort. A key would fit in here. Is it a free Paradox hoodie? It could be a voucher for a Paradox hoodie. There's a lot of things. Is it the love letter you sent to Steven? No, I do not read Steven's mail, so it couldn't be that one. So this is going to sit here. Oh, our poll finished. It looks like people are PvE focused. It looks like we have PvE dungeons and artisan system each tying with 13. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. PvP is a close third with 10 votes. Role playing got 4 votes, and then griefing. One person said they're gonna be griefing. Gotta have those griefers. I'm gonna be putting some of those polls, some of the polls that people suggest. I'm going to be putting those on straw polls so we can run those a little bit longer. 13 is an unlucky number, so it's a jinx. That is true. That is true. So today, guys, we got a couple of things we're going to do today. I'm going to let you guys know. Today's going to be one of my shorter shows. Not that I don't love doing this, but one of our military friends is deployed. We're going to be taking his wife out and his kid out for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna be taking off, but I probably am gonna stream tomorrow as well. Been having a lot of fun streaming. It's just that Friday used to be my show that we did from like 12 to 3 my time, and then Tryon would do their stream. So I led into that, and then a streamer named Air would pick up after the stream, and we kind of did a handoff. So right now I'm going to do Fridays because we're not going to be going out to dinner. Usually tonight's just an exception. We go to a hibachi place that is really, really interested in keeping social distancing. So I'm going to be taking them out. What is the best way to support you monetarily? Patreon for larger take-home, or subs, gifts, subs for the Twitch partner push? I will be completely honest. You can support me financially any way you want. The best way to support me is just watching my YouTube, hanging out here and chatting. If you have, if you want to throw down money, Dinosaur Milk is just gonna throw down 10. But yeah, it doesn't, to me, you support me where you want to support me. That's the most important thing. What you do, what you want to do. Do I have a schedule anywhere? Yes, I do. If you actually look down below in the underneath the thing, there should be a schedule tab on Twitch. Also, my schedule is there is a schedule bar, and I have that updated. So we are doing good. All those, you know, guys, I'm gonna let me repeat what Frost said, because I want to make sure I drive that point home. The best support is being supportive and engaging in chat and comments on YouTube. That's the best support. I view that as the best support. Yes, the money is nice, so I can do cool things with it, but support is support. I view it all the same. Hi, Jahlon. Do we know the release date for the next dev update? Is it a fixed date each month or a random date when stuff is ready to be shown? Good question. They do their stream usually on the last Friday of the month. Sometimes it shuffles a bit depending on who is there, but oh my goodness. Wow, guys, we just skipped all the way to the level 5 hype train. Choo choo. Right out the box. But yeah, they do their update usually the last Friday of the month. Usually the last Friday of the month is their live stream. What's probably going to happen is sometime soon here, they are going to put our questions in. The thing I will tell you, because the last day of the month is a Monday, it's not uncommon for them to push the live stream if there's going to be one more weekend. More subs for Jay. He needs partnership. Yeah. I will tell you, I learned a lot from the 2 times I've been denied from my partner application. One of the things is I do owe the community an apology. I wasn't really taking care of the things that make the stream look good and feel good for you guys. Now we got the full rack of emotes. We've got the full rack of loyalty badges. When I make partner, I will do the other loyalty badges for the years. So yeah, we are full speed ahead. If you guys have questions, go ahead and ask them. We can get started on questions. I am going to be during the show today. I am going to be doing the PvP Guild float, or the Guild PvP Flowchart, the flagging chart. Again, I'm going to do that segment again today. The last one wasn't neat and clean, so I want to redo that so I can have the video. Any possibility to make the video larger? No, unfortunately, the way this is all squared away, people, I had taken the chat off. People wanted the chat back on. Unfortunately, there's no real neat, clean way to do that. It is something I'm looking at, rotating between scenes where the chat is there, but the people wanted the chat. The people wanted the chat back on the screen because they watch this. They watch these VODs as well, so they kind of need the chat on the screen. Wow, more. Final level. Keep the hype going until the clock runs out. You guys have 107%ed a level 5 hype train in the first like 5 minutes. That is amazing. Thank you guys. Yeah, a lot of black space. The problem is the resolution of this of the videos. I am working on changing that up a little bit so that I can make the videos just a little bit larger. Would love to hear some answers to my Discord questions. Yes, I'm gonna get to those. You put in a lot of good questions. I'm just rolling this hype train right now because people are crazy. People are crazy. Do you think they will release Apocalypse again, but to test castle sieges? Yes. Castle siege testing got moved to after Alpha 1. They're still gonna want that data. So they're still gonna want that data. Oh, there's a tip. Who's that? Kevin Leo Fire. Thank you for the tip. They are going to re-release Castle Siege testing, but right now they're all in on Alpha 1. They want to get Alpha 1 looking good, feeling good, presenting well, because they can't afford another. They really can't afford any more big headshots. They're in the early rounds, and they've taken a lot of headshots, and they can't afford any more of those. They got to put something out that now answers the call. So they didn't deliberately start a hype train with those interviews. The Lazy Peon put out an Ashes of Creation video that got 1 million views, and so then Summit in Shroud interviewed Steven, Asmongold interviewed Steven, Tim the Tatman interviewed Steven. So boom, there was a big hype push. They really need to deliver on Alpha 1 now. What games are you playing right now while you wait for Ashes of Creation? I am playing the content creator game. I basically am working another 5-pack, 207%. You guys are nuts. I am playing basically the content creator game. I am playing Dreamweaver. I am playing content creator. I do play Final Fantasy 14 with my wife. I'm on the Malboro server. If you guys are looking for me on Final Fantasy, you want to play Final Fantasy, I can, if you're interested in playing Final Fantasy, checking it out, let me know. PM me. I can get you a referral friend code. Join my server. If enough people are going to check out Final Fantasy, I'll tweak my free company a little bit so I can get you in there, give you guys some buffs. It's a good game to play. I also recommend people play some EVE Online. I'm not playing EVE Online right now because I like my marriage, but EVE Online is a good game to be checking out to learn a lot of the sandbox PvP mentality. So I recommend that. But yeah, if I'm not making content right now and I'm not hanging out with my family, I'm playing a little bit of Final Fantasy, and then I have been enjoying having a task every day, guys. You have no idea, for a guy like me, being retired in my 40s, how nice it is to log on in the morning, have an hour of correspondence to do, and then tweaking the web page. So I've been going hardcore since I got back from Disney, but I've loved it. And my wife is happy because I'm happy. Getting the rooms painted for the girls. I got to hang their paintings. I'm waiting for my daughter's desk to get delivered. If you guys weren't here on Wednesday, that was a fiasco. But once her desk gets delivered, I can set up her electronics again. Things will be good. I had that one question in regards to a corrupted player killing a non-combatant and getting their corruption level increased. Doesn't that screw over the corrupted players even more when they try to defend themselves from non-combatants trying to kill them, since they can without flagging? Yes. The problem with the corruption system, with the non-combatants being able to attack the corrupted without flagging, creates a very, very bad scenario. Steven has said that he acknowledges that. He acknowledged that in my 2019 interview with him. He has said they are going to look at it. They want to test it as written, but he has said, given the way I presented it to him, he acknowledges it, but he wants to test it the way he wrote it first. But if it needs to be tweaked, they're going to tweak it. So that non-combatants being able to go hunting for the corrupted, that may change. We just need to test it. Remember, when we start testing that, don't say stuff like, hey, this sucks. Because this sucks is absolutely meaningless feedback. What you need to say is, this is bad because the people hunting the corrupted should be the bounty hunters. You should not be able to attack a corrupted unless you flag. Yes, I understand your lore rationalization, and you want to try to force that lore rationalization. But if you really want the bounty hunters versus the corrupted to be a quasi-faction war, then only people that can attack the corrupted without flagging should be combatants or bounty hunters. I think Steven will be receptive to it. So would love to hear. We're gonna get to you. If we have a lull, well, not even if we have a lull. Guy named Anger Management hit me with a lot of good questions today, so I'm gonna try to pull. I'm gonna pull those periodically into the chat. I got a question about the node wars. Why do you want to start a node war? Your nearest nodes are most likely part of the parent and vassal nodes. You can't attack them, so you can't grow larger into a node rank. So good question. The reason why you might want to start a node war isn't against your own, isn't against the nodes in your vassal system. Remember, there are going to be a lot of push, pulls, tweaks going on in Ashes of Creation when it comes to that node system. Let me grab this picture. Luckily, I've started getting more and more things laid out. So here is an example of a scenario like you were referring to. That town, unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to have my cursor go over the images I project. I am looking into that. But that town on the east of the border of the brown region and the white region, that town, it may be projecting its zone of influence across the castle region, or it may not. That village may not be the vassal of that town. That village may be the vassal of something going on the other side of the map. A lot of these examples we use, we have to make them small to look at them, but we can't look at the system in a vacuum. So we don't know everything going on from this picture. So that's our first note. We have to acknowledge we don't know everything going on in this map. But this village may not, in the white zone, this village may not be under that town. But that village may be under a town that's getting ready to go to a city. So that village has a vested interest in making that town weaker. So that's why you declare a node war. You declare a node war in advance of a node siege to try to weaken it, to try to maybe drive it into atrophy. Maybe you can't siege it, but maybe you can node war it and weaken it enough that it atrophies and falls off the map. Remember, there's going to be a lot of little nodes that are stuck between people. And this is where like real world philosophy comes in. What's the best way to get a promotion? To get your boss a promotion where your boss is going to need you to promote. So if you're a really good assistant, you never want to be irreplaceable, because if you're irreplaceable, you're not promotable, because your boss doesn't want to give you up. So he's never going to like want to see you promoted. He wants to keep you. But if you want your boss's job, help everybody in the food chain move up and create that space for yourself. So that's why you might declare a node war. Your town might be getting ready to go to a city, and you want that town promotion, but you got to get rid of the town, because when all those nodes switch, the zone of influence, the vassal maps, those are going to switch as well. So good question. I hate when it does this. It doesn't show me my images right away. So let's see. New World just sent me a key to a preview test from 25th of August to 4th September. Yeah, I have perpetual testing for New World, but I can't talk about it. Also, this is the second time in my life this has happened. My wife is not a tester, but my wife registers for everything I register for just in case. My wife gets invited to the closed beta. She gets a key for the Crowfall closed beta. She's not a content creator. She doesn't do nothing. It's me. But no. You haven't used Dreamweaver since your first year in university? Yeah, I use Dreamweaver because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and Dreamweaver will at least alert me to all of my mistakes. More subs. Jay wants partnership. No, you say that. I'm not going to say that. Thank you for saying that, though. With your experiences in marketing, what do you think Intrepid's next move should be? What information does the community want the most? That's a two-part question, and there's two answers. With my experience in marketing, Intrepid needs to honestly stop talking. And they don't need to say anything else because it's inelegant. People don't want any more talk. People want meat on the plate. They want money on the table. Intrepid doesn't need to say anything else. They just need to silently show up with an amazing Alpha 1 and let the people like me, let the lazy peons, the Asmogolds, the Summits. The last time Intrepid tried to do a little marketing push, it kind of blew up in their face. They need to not have another incident like that again. They don't need to try to do marketing hype. They've got an amazing community. So Intrepid needs to just keep doing what they're doing. And then the only thing I would say that Intrepid needs to stop doing that really like bites them in the ass is Intrepid doesn't have, in my opinion, and they may, and if they have this person, I'm really sorry that I'm kind of publicly shitting on your job performance. But if Intrepid has a person that's doing the big picture view for the ripple effect, and if you guys don't know what the ripple effect is, it's a process improvement thing where because I change one thing over here, did I change something over here to the negative? And so a quick example off the top of my head is they got rid of baggers in grocery stores like 15 years ago to cut payroll, because why do you need a bagger when the cashier can bag? And that looks like it's an increase in productivity because you're cutting costs. But the problem is they didn't add more cashiers. So you've taken the work off of one person, added the work onto a person, saved money, but didn't use the money to have more cashiers. So you got to look at more than, again, you can't look at things in a vacuum. I think sometimes Intrepid makes like one move over here that looks good, but then one move over here that looks really bad. That they need to start, Intrepid needs to start having like a full big picture analysis, and they're going to get there. They're a young company. Those things happen. Those are growing pains that a company's going to have. When might the game release? My square is March 22nd, 2022. Is Eve worth playing for the first time? My friends tell me they have bad experiences with that game. Here's the thing. Here's how much I stand behind Eve is worth playing, right? This is how much I stand behind Eve is worth playing. I've actually linked you my referral code for Eve. I think Eve is worth playing in the free version so that you can learn some stuff about the Eve mentality, because your most serious PvP players are going to have an Eve mentality. There are a lot of things you can learn from Eve that you can't learn anywhere else. So I would learn that. I would learn those things from Eve Online. Let's do the March footage because it's a little bit bigger. I think they need to set the corruption gain to 0, similar or fight with a bounty hunter. Yeah, we're gonna. That's pinned. That's pinned for markage. And I already fell far behind, guys. I'm gonna try to catch up. Prime time for his EU peeps. Thanks for doing it. Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure that I have. I want to have a wide variety of times that I stream, so everybody can see some. I don't want every time zone to have to be viewing the VODs. So, and then the good part is that I'm probably going to be adding on one more show a week on Saturdays, but that's going to be my fun show. That's going to be my more fun show. Although answering you guys' questions is fun for me. So, a question from down in my question box. Are you worried about the most current MMO players being from theme park style games and will be put off from the harsh PvX style game Ashes of Creation is aiming for? No, I am not worried about what's going to happen when theme parkers come to Ashes. We had this discussion last night in the Ashes of Creation Discord. There are MMORPG fans. Inside of those fans, a lot of people will play any MMORPG. There is a slice of people that will only play games with open world combat. If it doesn't have open world combat, they won't play. That's a subset. Okay, that's a niche gamer. There are also niche gamers that will only play theme park games with no non-consensual PvP. The reason why I'm not worried is Steven has very early on, he has said, he's not making Ashes for everybody. Ashes of Creation will not be for everybody, ... And that's okay. So he's not going to listen to a vocal minority. I'm a bit worried with Alpha 1 with the interviews and hype and Steven telling streamers, I'll hook you up with an alpha key. I'm not sure if streamers and their audiences understand what Alpha 1 actually is, And if it's not playable, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of people shitting at the game. Here's the thing. Steven's not throwing Alpha 1 keys for free at just any old streamers. Steven is giving Alpha 1 keys to streamers that specifically know what an alpha is. I know a lot of you make fun of Asmongold. I don't know the history of, I mean, I know like the asthma bald thing. Somebody has showed me that. But at the end of the day, I'm Jahlon. I'm a person. Jahlon is an on-air personality name. Asmongold is an on-air personality name. Behind the brand is a guy named Zach who has a brain in his head, because when I listen to him speak, he knows what the hell is going on. He has explained it to his community several times. It's an alpha. We're going to get in there. We're going to test. We're going to do things. I think he has done a great job. I don't think I have the image. Let me grab an image real quick. It might take me a second. Yeah, I just got to open this up. I got to save it as an image, and then I'm going to show this, because this is one I think is important. A lot of people don't understand this, and I 100% hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. Except Steven has a really good plan in place already. They have done a really good job of preparing. Oh, there was my image. Oh, because I didn't name it. Okay, you come here. We're gonna make you this one. They have done a really good job of laying the groundwork for what's gonna happen. What the hell image is up? Oh, I'm telling you, it's gonna be one of those days. Okay. So this is the thing I use when I'm teaching new content creators. I'm teaching new content creators about content creation. So at the top of the pyramid, you have influencers. You have really big names: Shroud, Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, Asmongold, Soda Poppin'. They stay in your game for as long as it is beneficial for them to stay in your game. They are the captain of the fishing boat. They own the boat. They know where to go. They know where to throw the nets. But they're not on deck pulling in those nets. That's guys like me. Content creators are your workhorses. I am an Ashes of Creation content creator. So I'm not worried if Asmongold makes this game reach 1 million people, and I can convert 1% of those 1 million people into viewers and followers. That would be a huge growth for my channel. Asmongold's not going to he's not going to do this right now. Like Summit, Shroud, Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, they're not going to do what I'm doing right now for this game, because it would hurt them as a brand. They'll talk about it for an hour, they'll promote it, and then they'll go on to what they're known for. I'm not saying any one of those guys can't become a brand name for Ashes of Creation. They certainly can. They're only going to stay in that as long as it's beneficial to them. So no, I'm not worried about that at all. Yes, guys, thank you, Frost. I am falling a little bit behind. A lot of good questions coming. We know about Node Wars and Guild Wars, but what about Realm Wars? No, there won't be any Realm Wars, because each world is its own development. So you're not going to see any Realm Wars. You're not going to see server versus server. Not early on, because there's no point. There's no tangible benefit for that. Do we have any information on where the 5 castles could potentially be? No. If not, what do you think the best area of the map would be for them? You know, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea, and I don't want to speculate, because a couple of the speculations that I've been making have completely just become like canonized. So I will speculate on castle locations on my private Discord, but I'm hesitant to do that, because some stuff that I say makes its way around and becomes like, well, Jay said, so I have to kind of stay in my lane. I'll do speculation privately for something like that. Plus, I got a great guy. Noodle is amazing. He's my intelligence division. Oh my god, the guy's maps are amazing. If you guys have been on my Discord, he's making the most amazing maps. The map theory questing. Oh, it's amazing. Do guards intervene if a non-combatant is attacked in town by another player? Yes. Guards are going to do their guard thing. let's see. So I'm new to the Ashes train. Choo-choo! Found your videos and really enjoyed them. I've done about 40 hours of research. One question I haven't found was if there was 5 clusters of node preset with each cluster able to have a metropolis, or is it possible for 2 semi-close nodes to become a metropolis? No. Zalik, I have a website, Ashes 101. The link is down below. You can click on that. You can go to the node section. There's a video called Introduction to Nodes. The way the nodes have to grow, and do I have... I don't think I put that one in, but we certainly can. I don't know what all of these images are. I have the images pulled now. I need to get this set up. So nodes lock each other out starting at level 1. So because the level 1, okay, because the level 1 locks out all the zeros, and those zeros can't become 1s until this becomes 2, and then when this becomes 2, it blocks 1s, and those 1s block zeros. As this one becomes a 3, the other ones will become 2s, but then they're going to be blocking out their neighbors to 1s, so their neighbors that are 1s are going to be blocking out the ones beyond that to zeros. You're not going to have 2 6s appear next to each other just because it wouldn't be possible. The algorithm will prevent it because of how they have to grow. I'm actually going to take that for a note. A lot of people have that question, so I'm going to do a node development to 6 segment. And obviously I can make my usual PowerPoints and get that looking good. I really dislike the PvE servers in WoW. I don't think I'm one that would appreciate a PvP consensual game that much. Yeah, I agree. It kind of defeats the open world niche. So the better the alpha testers break it, the better the beta will be. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Repost. I've played several MMOs where Zergs made warriors and assassins, basically all melee-based characters, useless. Everything aimed down to range attacks and AoEs. Since this game is primarily based on Zerg fights, time out. This game is not primarily based on Zerg fights. Is the situation going to be different? Because I really love my warrior fighter. First of all, if you think Ashes of Creation is based on Zerg fights, reset your brain, format C:// you got a bad start. You need to hang out in Ashes 101 more. Ashes is not based on Zerg fights. Ashes is based on large fights. A large fight and a Zerg fight are 2 different things. Frost is one of my officers. He's been PvPing with me for years. Another guy, Kia, he'll pop in and out of here occasionally. We would take 28 people and engage 100. Your Zerg doesn't mean shit if you're fighting 28 people that know what they're doing. What happens is people don't know how to combat the Zerg. They don't know how to fight the Zerg, so they just Zerg. What happens is piss poor game mechanics, piss poorly designed games encourage Zerg mechanics. The big thing about Ashes is if you are always relying on your numbers, okay, and then you come across a guild that is invested in guild buffs instead of numbers, you're going to get your ass handed to you. Because if you're used to winning all your fights, 300 to 100, you will eventually expose an opportunity where 50 people can attack 50 of yours. And if you're always used to having 3 times the numbers, it means you're not going to be able to fight with equal numbers. I always tell people this, and this is something we practice. We practice what we preach. Depending on what the objective is. If I have 50 people rolling with me through the countryside and we come across a group of 10, I'm not going to allow my 50-person raid to engage that 10. I'm going to say, hey, you guys, you 10, hold on, let me look. Okay, real quick, their buffs, their builds. Okay, you 15 or you 20, go fight them. Because I know that the group of 10 is built to probably beat my 20 guys. I'm not sending too many against those 10. Based on gear, based on class composition, based on who I know who they are. I'm not going to allow my 50 people to go beat up on those 10. I'm going to send my 20 guys that need practice to go get their asses kicked a little bit, because you learn by getting your ass kicked. Now, if I know for a bona fide fact those 10 guys are transporting blood diamonds or dragon teeth or whatever, sorry, now it's not about the PvP. Now it's not about the good fight. Now it's about the objective. If I come to take your castle on Castle Siege Day and I bring 250 and you only bring 20 to defend, while it breaks my heart that for whatever reason your alliance fell apart and you're about to lose your castle, you're losing your castle. So, I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this question, but do you think that people will want to group up when leveling up doing quests and tasks? A huge aspect for me in MMOs is player interaction and combat scenarios that occur when grouping up with other players to grind. Will there be incentive or benefits in game to group up? Yes. Although you split the XP with all the people in your party, more people equals killing Mo faster. And if you played Final Fantasy XI, killing Mo faster was what it was all about. So yes, there will be people grouping up. Since you tend towards a flat Vera on release, do you think the central parts of the map will be more interesting in terms of resources, transfer, and commerce? Good question. Oh, let me get the image off the screen. Good question. But I don't want to speculate on that because they haven't said it's going to be a flat Vera. They're going to test it both ways. I definitely think that it's all going to depend on what their expansion plan is. Remember, they're not releasing a game that they think is going to fail. They're not releasing a game that they don't think is going to be successful. They're releasing the game with the mentality of, we know this is going to be a hit game, so the launch is just the beginning. So I would be hesitant to say that the stuff in the central part of the map will be more interesting. I would not believe that at all. Will a fully developed military metropolis have an automatic siege advantage against other metropolis? Yes. A military node will have a defensive bonus versus the other three because it's the military node and that's one of its it's one of its inherent advantages. But remember, you don't necessarily want to you don't want to say, well, if I don't want to lose my node, I want to be a military node, because every node is going to have advantages. We have to wait until we get those last two blogs before we can make any decisions. And there's Zetrix, one of my ninjas. He did some ninja work. I've already got it, so my day goes like this: do the stream, go to dinner, come home, be very confused by what the ninja sent me, and then the other ninja usually works with me over the weekend. I swear, by the time it's all said and done, this webpage is gonna be amazing. Let's see. I'm not sure if we're in open Q&A. Thank you. I gotta put another task on my list. Make the open Q&A icons. For chat or for screen. I had those made attached to the segments. I heard Steven say he really likes Star Wars Galaxies. Do we know if there's going to be any sort of automated crafting like factories or automated gathering like Star Wars Galaxies had? Steven had talked about extractors at one point, so it is on their radar. It is on their radar. As far as automated crafting, since they're not doing a minigame with the crafting, I don't necessarily know if there's going to be automated crafting or like a factory, but the one thing Steven has done a really good job of keeping close hold has been the artisan system. Is there a corruption gain cap? Like level 50 killing a level 40 gains 10 corruption, or kills a level 10 and gets 40 corruption. I'm thinking about making a non-combatant corrupted hunter tweak. Yes, there is. The bigger the differential between the corrupted, the bigger the differential between the murderer's level and the victim's level determines how much corruption you get. The more murders you have on your soul, the more corruption you get per murder. If I was an economic gold maker from other MMOs, does an NPC board marketplace exist to sell items? If so, what node level does it have to exist in order for the person to earn gold? That question is kind of weird. There is a board, there is a market system, there is a stall system, but the boards will appear at level 3 when the mayor can put up the tasks. I think you're asking like a lot of things in that question, GY. I think you're asking a lot of questions in that question, and you need to kind of break your thought out because I'm not quite sure what to answer there. So in that picture, could A and B both grow at the same time? Of course, I probably took the. Could A and D both grow at the same time? Yes. So in this picture, no. Yes, in this picture, A and D could grow at the same time, except A can't grow because it's being blocked by B. So that's why there's a lot of things going on. B and D can grow independent of each other because of a stage 0 node between them. There's a buffer. So the tealish area, that has to go to 3 before B and D can go to 2, before A and C can go to 1. But again, there might be things going on the other side of the map that we don't see. Working in a vacuum is always dangerous. But A can't grow because it's being blocked by B. Its neighbor is level 1, it's level 0. It cannot grow. It is blocked from growth. Let's see. Each node level 3 has a marketplace, but only economic nodes have a cross-node auction house. Also, you can open your own shops. Okay, a level 3 node may have a marketplace. The marketplace is a constructibles building the mayor has to build. Economic nodes have a unique building called markets. You can open a stall. If your node has a marketplace, you can open a stall to offer goods and services. Not until the world has a stage 6 economic node can you buy a shop to place. Let's see. I'm not going for bounty hunter since it's combatant against corrupted. Say minus 10 levels gives max corruption stacked. I make a level 40 twink and corrupted can't do anything against me. Yeah, Mayhem, I'm going to tell you right now, expect to get that nerfed. I would really hope people wouldn't try to do that because you're playing in the area of the game you shouldn't be playing with. And so the answer to that, and I'm going to tell you what the answer to that is. Mayhem, as soon as people start playing in that minus 10 levels twink non-combatant, that's exactly why I say combatants shouldn't be able to attack corrupted. A non-combatant should not be able to go offensive versus a corrupted. They should have to flag. Because that's the bullshit gray area you shouldn't be playing in. That's the bullshit gray area that's going to cause a lot of changes to corruption, and that right there is why people say the system is broken, and why I agree the system is broken. Oh, I got a couple of hydrates. Did you guys see the new hydrate icon? Should be drinking a straw. I was gonna have him do a bottle with liquid in it, but then that got. It was like, man, someone's gonna say that's Jack Daniels, and I don't need that in my life. Yeah, I do have to hydrate. I ran yesterday. I'm a little dehydrated today. All right. Will there be a free trial if someone is new to MMOs? They might do a free trial server, but they don't. Keep in mind, the barrier of entry is so low, it's $15. $15 to play as much as you want for a month. Pay the $15, enjoy the full game. But they may do a free trial server so you can see what the game is like. But you can't have free accounts on the regular servers, it's too destructive. By the way, don't mix Zerg group and Pug group. Zerg members individually weak but have a strong commanding officer on their head. Put a bunch of random guys together doing Pugs is a bunch of random guys doing shit. No, I'm gonna disagree with you, Bulva. Zerg member. Okay, yes, Zerg members individually weak. Yes, I agree. Okay, you and I agree. Is Castle Siege Day going to be a set date, or will it be community decided? It will probably be Saturday, because that makes the most sense. Can a cleric heal buff strangers in the world? Yes. Heal. Not sure if they could give buffs. One of my favorite... I said I'm not sure. You pipe down. You go back to sleep. One of my favorite things in MMOs is supporting newbies as they level, but some MMOs over the year have been constraining in that aspect of the game. I agree. I don't know if you can give them buffs, because buffs are going to be from the bards mainly, and bards are going to be radial buffs off center. This sounds like a lot what I used to do with Eve. A lot of people wanting bigger and bigger and bigger fleets, and I was designing ships that required you to have level 5 skills on CPU and stuff because I was utilizing all but one point. But a fleet of 3 Tech 3 Logi cruisers, 5 Tech 3 DPS cruisers, and 2 Tech 2 E-War frigates could take out a fleet of 50 plus. Yes, absolutely. Especially, and that's why I recommend people play a little Eve Online, because Eve Online will teach you that EVE Online will teach you the importance of how a single individual can change an entire fight, and why you can't just be throwing, like not calling primaries, secondaries, and tertiaries. For example, real quick Eve example, get oh my god, we're under attack, 2 jumps out in a Falcon, haul ass getting into place in a Falcon, pop out a cloak, and jam out 7 battleships because you got a full rack of jammers, and you just took out 7 ships with 1 ship. Yeah. If node A and B are at war, but then node A stages up and vassalizes B, is the war just over? That is a good question. We don't have that answer because we're not going to be given information on how the algorithm works. People will be more likely to defend a scientific metropolis to protect flight path than a military node. We don't know that. We don't know that because we don't know what the military node superpower is. How are nodes going to work in regards to unlocking new quests? Are there going to be high-level quests and high-level zones of influence? So if all tier 6 nodes exist, will there be high-level quests everywhere or only close to the high nodes? What we know so far is that you would be traveling to the metropolis to get those quests. Keep in mind, guys, a lot of people don't like this. They're forgetting this answer. You have to travel. You have to travel to do your questing. You have to travel. This game isn't about porting everywhere. The game is about traveling, enjoying the journey. Hey, our regional capital just became a metropolis. We're going to travel there. And on your way there, you run into things. This isn't about getting there and doing it today. It's about getting there and doing it in time. Let's see. Someone might say, Dr. Pepper, you should give him a coffee cup instead. True. Oh, I saw somebody say, Steven said $15.99. It was actually $14.99. Steven misspoke. Steven misspoke on the stream. He later corrected it. Let's see. Will Underrealm nodes have any advantages or disadvantages compared to the surface nodes? No. And guys, I remembered to get the image. So this is how the Underrealm works. So right now I'm in the Underrealm. I'm in the Underrealm, and you can see outside. You'll see it again. It's going to replay. It's only like 12 seconds. But I'm in the Underrealm, and I could actually go directly above myself if I went out. Unfortunately, APOC's not playable, so I can't go out and show this, but there's out. People are like, how do you get out of the Underrealm? It's easy. You walk. And now behind me, I think I show it. Yeah, I did. Well, I clipped it. You could actually go up above it. The Underrealm is literally just underneath. There's nothing magical. There's no portal. It's literally, I walk over, I walk under. The other producer is mad. The door is closed. When you talk about them trying to flat Vera and round Vera, do you think there will be 2 separate servers or one server swapping over from flat and round, or vice versa? Hold on, let me get him. Lay down. Good boy. I think they will have a build that they want to try, and then they will. Sorry, I got to get a new chair. Somebody get on Secret Labs and tell them there's a streamer that needs sponsoring and he needs a chair. No, you don't want a Secret Labs chair? Come here. Where are you? He's gonna be vocal today. Come here. We were working this morning. We were working on stuff. Oh, you don't want to be internet famous? You want to complain but not be seen? This is who's making all the noise. Okay, go play. I think that they'll decide on which one they want to test first. And here, there's three things. There's three things. You don't have to do a globe per se. You can do a map that just has border transport. You don't have to make it a globe. Making it a globe is a completely different thing. So I should be careful when I say that. They're going to test it as a flat bordered Earth or flat bordered map, and then they're going to test it as a you can get to the east by traveling west. So let's see. Do they have a price? Yes, the official pricing is $15 a month. But also remember, there's going to be regional pricing. We don't know if that's pounds. There's a lot of things going on. Am I too late? Or are you still going to do my poll? I did your poll. Bronze is a crime. Was yours the one that was what people are going to do? Oh, damn it. Oops. It was, oh, here we go. I can do that. I can put the poll in again. I'm actually, oh, you know what I said I wanted to do? I wanted to start, I don't really like the polling feature. What I want to do is, I want to put I want to put some polls into straw polls so that I can do, like, when somebody gives me a poll, I'll do it on the show, but I want to put that specific one into a straw poll. But it was basically split PvE and artisan system. I think that poll might have been a little bit poorly written, not on your part, on my part. Hold on. So you want to leave now? So in the wall behind me, guys, I'm gonna put a cat door so they can come and go on their own. So they can come and go on their own. Fortresses, what do we know? What characteristics do they share with castles and what don't they share? Fortresses go on a guild freehold. They can be attacked. They can be assaulted only during prime times. Anything that has a meaningful objective is tied to a prime time. So guild wars and node wars, the objective parts of them are during the prime time. So say you declare war on a guild and they set the condition back that they're going to siege or steal something out of your guild freehold. Well, that's only going to occur during prime time. That you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about getting a phone call from all your guild mates at 2 a.m. Oh my God, they're attacking our fortress. No, that part of it will happen during the prime time. So beyond that, we don't know much. I don't know how you get your guild freehold. I don't know how you get your guild chest. Or get your, I don't know how you get your guild fortress. That's something, not that I don't know that, it's Steven just hasn't, Steven hasn't put that out there. So. That said, I do want to get some questions out of my Discord as well, but you guys are bringing the pain here today. Do we know what it would be like to log out of the game? For instance, if on the way to Metro, can we log out along the way safely, or would we have to log out in a city or town? You can log out anywhere you want. People have a hard time with enjoy the journey. Yep, that is true. You said earlier that military nodes have a defensive advantage. What about offensive advantages? What about a military university attacking scientific metropolis? There is no military university, so I don't know where the military university came from. And nodes don't attack other nodes for sieges. Nodes attack other nodes in node wars. Individuals declare a siege and then everybody joins them. Is this new gameplay that's on the screen? What's on the screen right now is March footage. Let's see. Yeah, the focus of people, what was the result? Yeah, hold on, I'll show that, because that was your poll. Desktop. Here was the result, and I want to move this one. I want to move this one over to straw poll so that we can get a little bit bigger of a group. But yeah, it was artisan. It was like 13. It was like 13, 13, 10, 4, 1. I'm gonna put that one in straw poll. I really like that. I really like that one. Yeah, that one's gonna go on straw poll. How does Paladin sound to you guys? It'll be a tank that can heal myself. Paladin will be a tank that has self-sustained from it being a cleric secondary. A Paladin won't be able to, quote, heal itself. So, what do I think about the new job openings? Will there be more info concerning Europe this month, or was this the promised thing? I have no idea, guys. And let me tell you, when it comes to business, it's really bad to speculate. It's really bad to speculate. You have no idea what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing. The only people who know what they're doing is Steven. So I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I have no idea what I have no idea what it's for. So somebody went running with the ball that they're changing publishers, and I said, maybe Steven's just creating the equivalent of a vice president of European Affairs office, so that, because trying to think America, trying to think game design, trying to think Intrepid Studios, trying to think new studio, trying to think self-distribution, trying to think Oceanic, he might have too much shit on his plate, and he's like, all right, I'm creating an office that's going to handle all of this shit for me. The new camera is looking great. This is actually the same camera. What I did is I moved my key light over a little bit. I put some other lighting up over here. I need to get a new key light so that my light is balanced. But thanks. I did tweak it. You guys, I said it was a busy week this week. You guys pointed that out. I lost like 2 hours. I was a little mad. I bought a new camera stand, and it's total crap. It vibrates too much. So we went old school. It's the same tripod, just on a box. Another crafting question. Do we have information on whether the quality of your crafting can increase based on the station you're using? And on top of that, will crafting stations have upgrades or high roll craft that increases based on skill? Based on your skill, oh, you got me, I'm sitting cross-legged. Based on your skill, your mastery of your profession, you will have access to additional dials. Based on your membership in social organizations, you will open up other dials. I don't know if the station affects your quality. I do know that the station affects your ability to make certain things. So I don't think it's the station makes your crafting better. I think the station is what allows you to do it. You look a little washed out on the right when you open like web pages. Yeah, you're talking about like when I do that. I gotta turn down the monitors then. Monitor brightness. It's such a pain in the ass. I have an Elgato key light on my left side, and I want to get an Elgato key light from my right side so that I can exactly balance the light on both sides. I've got 2 ring lights over here, and I've got the key light over there. Not that I need, people are like, well, why are you buying the expensive Elgato key light? Well, just because I bought one and I want to have the matching one. But it is such a pain in the ass when you get new monitors. My monitors are so bright that I've turned them down. I need to turn them down again. That's what's causing some of the washout. These monitors, man. I'm incredibly happy with these monitors. I said I was never going to go above 1080p. And these are 1440s, and I really like them. Do we know how much sea content there is? I feel like if you go shipbuilder, mariner playstyle versus those focused on the more standard land content, you will be falling behind quickly. There is a lot of sea content. Steven wants the sea content to be Not like Arcade, where there's like 5 things at specific times. He wants the naval content to be engaging. He wants there to be krakens and leviathans and jellyfish and hold on. Okay. Hold on. Thank you for letting me know. All right, guys. So I'm gonna jump back to that one, but here is the thread. Here is the thread for the Go Ask a Question at Intrepid for the next QA. If you don't have a question you want to ask, what I want you to do is, if you don't have a question you want to ask, I want you to go to that thread and I want you to put Jahlon interviews Steven again in 2020 ? Just fill up the chat with requests for another Jahlon versus Steven interview, because I think we'd have a blast doing it. Now that the community has grown, oh yeah, we need another interview. So if you don't have any question you'd like to ask, go ask that. Now, the naval content. Steven wants the naval content to be meaningful. He doesn't want there to just be like one Kraken, one Leviathan, a couple of ships, and the rest of the world empty. If you look at this map, there's a lot of ocean here. There is a lot of ocean. There is going to be a lot of ocean content. Here's where you're not going to be falling behind if you focus on being a mariner. Because if you focus on being a mariner and other people try to come into your backyard, your crew is better than their crew. Your ship is better than their ship. So you're going to have a distinct advantage. Now it's like everything else. If you've leveled up your mariner skill tree, but you haven't opened up like your caravan defender skill tree, then yes, you're specialized. You don't have the advantage of being at the sea. So, I mean, it's going to be player choice. Do I choose this or do I choose that? Do I choose a jack of all trades? Like, Paradox will be a naval-based guild because there's an advantage to controlling the water. So, I don't think you're going to fall behind. I think you're going to be specialized differently. Maybe this is an older question, but what will the time to kill be? I know there are a lot of variables like gear, level, the characters we compare, but in general, is the ambush, kill, fast flee idea viable? No, ganking is not going to be viable because the time to kill is 30 seconds, 30 seconds being the floor. So unless the only people you're going to be able to gank are the people who've gone all gank, no tank, full spank, and they have no defense, and you just happen to push them to critical, and then you coup de grace them. I'm going to be a cleric. I'm going to be wearing medium armor. You're not going to pop out of the shadows, wombo combo me, and run away. You're gonna open up the fight, and then I'm going to be at half, and I'm going to be like, heal, hot, let's play. Remember, you're not, and I know people got a hard time accepting this, you're not supposed to be able to 1v1 another max level equally geared character. You're not. That's piss poor balance. That is piss poor balance. Balance is, if you're a 10,000 gear score character and I'm a 5,000 gear score character, yes, you should be able to kill me. You should be able to gank me. But if you're level 50 and 10,000 gear score and I'm level 50 and 10,000 gear score, why would you think that balance is you can kill me in 3 seconds? That's bad balance. Will Talnar race have different racial abilities based on what type you play? No, the Talnar are a race. The sliders are your appearance, and then that'd be too difficult for them because then people would be playing with the percentages. To the best of my knowledge, the Talnar have one set of racial bonuses because they're a race. Will we have access to all the professions but only become a master in one? No, you can become a master in several things, but they all have to be on the same side of the pyramid. So you can master several crafting professions. You can master several crafting professions, but once you master one on a side, you can only master things on that side. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to master gatherers so you can collect everything while you level up and eventually hand off to your alt. Because remember, a lot of people got this one stuck in their head. You can't grind to the max level crafter just by being given materials. You have to level up in your social organization. You have to do things. You need to be engaged on that character to unlock your other dials. So it's not like every other game where you just go, I've given my blacksmith character 200,000 iron ore and he's ground up to max level. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to go be like a member of the social organization. You need to be like a captain in the Thieves Guild in order to unlock that master crafter dial. Are fortresses like player-owned stations? No. There's not really a good EVE equivalent to what a fortress is, because a fortress has no relevance on the political landscape at this point. So, no, a fortress is not like a player-owned station. I'm trying to think if I can think of a game where that I can equate, and I really can't. It's really a unique feature that they're doing. It's a system inside a system, so that's pretty good. Hashtag Insectolnar. Yes, I agree. Let's see. Family Feuds. Ask about Family Feuds. Ask about Insectolnar. You called it. Ash's just point. Yeah, I knew that was coming. I mean, I didn't know. I didn't like have an inside know that it was coming. It comes about noon, 1 o'clock on the Friday before the stream. So then why have level 1? Then why have 1v1 arena? 1v1 arena is in the game, even though they're not balancing for 1v1s. In fact, I wrote the 1v1. I started writing the arenas article for Ashes 101 last night. Remember, you got to learn how to play your class versus all other classes somewhere. That's where 1v1 arena is going to be useful. You're going into the arena knowing it's a rock, paper, scissors match on who you get matched up with. I, for one, don't want to get matched with people that I can beat in the arena, because that shit's easy. I want to get matched with people who can beat me so I can figure out how to play my class and what tweaks I need to make. So, say for example, I'm a cleric. I'm a main cleric, and I'm trying to figure out some stuff, right? I'm a main cleric, and I have a hard time as a high priest. I'm playing a high priest, and all the time CC is killing me. I'm getting CC'd too much. Well, maybe high priest isn't the best option. I know that they've said that doubling down on your primary archetype makes you the most potent of the archetypes. But maybe potency isn't best. It's like when they ask Conan, what is best? A lot of people think raw power equals best. But what if utility is worth more? So what if a scryer is worth more to a cleric? Maybe bard subclass has CC immunity or CC purge or CC time shortened. So yeah, 1v1 is going to be valuable in figuring out what works and what doesn't. Maybe Scryer works really well in small group engagements, but maybe High Priest works really well in large groups. If you're the big boy, healer, maybe you go High Priest, and maybe a Bard. I know a lot of you are going to find this as a crazy thought. Sometimes healers have pocket DPS, pocket tanks, and pocket supports because you're anchoring on the healer. You're not anchoring on the tank. You're not anchoring on the damage dealer. Maybe you have a bard that is specifically there to keep the healer from being CC'd. Think outside the box. Let's see. Would you? Oh, Jahlon question Steven again. I submitted that. Yes, we need more of those. Would you say? Oh, somebody asked, what's the point of the rogue? The point of the rogue is unknown in PvP. We haven't seen the rogue firsthand in PvP. In PvE, the point of the rogue is to find all the hidden treasure in the dungeon. Remember the old school Dungeons and Dragons party. You want a rogue, you want a barbarian or a fighter, you want a cleric, you want some things. There's a reason why in a D&D party not everybody plays the best damage dealer. Funny story, all the time my guild was or my D&D raiding party was always going along, and they were getting all the biggest weapons and all the best armor and all the magical things, and I was never spending my gold because in sidebars with the storyteller I had been paying an artisan to make me my own coin press. So after years of adventuring with this group, I had like really shitty gear, but then one day we were traveling and I was like, oh, I know a place we can go. And we went to a place and all these people are talking to me and everyone in the party's like, what the hell's going on? And the storyteller's like, he's the mayor. He built this town. In all his downtime, he built this town. Ash is going back to the social roots. It requires friends to get the best out of the game. Yes. Yes. Would you say PvP skill points will prove more valuable than PvE skill points? CC plus survival skills versus raw damage for PvE. Well, here's the thing. There's no such thing as PvP, and there's no such thing as PvE, with the exception of the 20% of the instances that are 20% of the dungeons or raids that are instanced. You better always be ready for PvP, because PvP can happen at a moment's notice. So, if you go into an open world dungeon in a PvP only spec, expect to lose your boss or your loot. Will there be any world PvE that people will PvE over? Yes, all the world bosses, over all the regional bosses, all of the big raids. Yes. Yes, there will. Is a fortress like a lower tier castle? No. A fortress is a guild stronghold that is used in guild wars to make guild wars more meaningful than simply kill each other for an hour. What buffs you get at guild fortresses, they haven't told us. So, for the artisan tree, can you only master one side of the triangle, but can you get medium level skills or basic level skills from the other sides? Yes, you can get low level stuff from the other sides. The more specialized into the master part you get, the less you can do on the other sides. You guys are just contributing points left and right. You guys are trying to open the chest. They want to know. They want to know what's in the chest. What's in a box? Open a box. What's in a box? All right. I want to hear your opinion. What do you think about the class system? Do you think so many classes are a good idea because of balancing, or would you rather have less classes to choose from? I think the 64 classes is fine because at the end of the day, you really have to just balance the 8 primary archetypes. And the main balance will be balancing the 8 primary archetypes. The augment system isn't going to be impossible to balance. If you keep the 8 primary archetypes balanced, you really keep the whole game balanced. I'm not worried about it. I know a lot of people are worried about it. It's really 8 archetypes with 8 flavors until we see otherwise. And we're going to see otherwise. You said that guild reputation is a huge deal and that will persuade people not to take unhonorable fights in node wars with default flagging for enemy node citizens, but I disagree. I don't think I ever made that point, actually. I did say the guild reputation is a huge deal and that will persuade people to not act unhonorably, but I don't think I ever said node wars with default flagging. I don't think I said that. My loyalty is to my node, so it would be shameful to not do everything to protect it, including griefing the levelers. Nah, you see, you've got the wrong mentality there. If I'm at war with them, guild rep takes the back seat. Nah, I disagree with you because at the end of the day, yes, your guild citizenship is your highest allegiance, but you don't. The big thing is you wear your guild tag. I don't know if you wear your node tag. I know you wear your guild tag. I know your guild tag shows up in your bar. So I think, and the big part of that is if you're acting like a douche canoe all the time, your guild is going to have a reputation of being a douche canoe guild because they tolerate you. And my guild, it works simple. We have rules. We have rules of engagement. You break the rules of engagement, I ask you why. If you can't provide me a justifiable reason why you broke the rules of engagement, I tell you, make restitution to your victim. A day or two later, I check with the victim. Has restitution been made? Are you satisfied? If the person says no, I go back to the person. I say, well, what happened? Well, I gave him 2,000 gold. I go back to the person. Did you get 2,000 gold? Well, yeah, I got 2,000 gold, but okay. Well, then did you guys negotiate on a price? I'm not getting involved in that. But if you've been told don't jack caravans coming into the node because we're trying to grow, and you keep doing it, it works real simple. You're going to log in tomorrow and you're going to find yourself not in the guild. Doesn't make you a bad person, but I can't have 49 people rowing on the drum beat and one person rowing on the space. That's not, you don't move the canoe that way. You can, next time we make land, you can say, hey boss, can we talk? I don't like the drum beat. We got to change up the drum beat a little bit. That's your right to do. But if I tell you no killing caravans on the way into the town, and you're killing caravans on the way into the town, you just got to go. You just got to not wear my guild tag anymore. I don't got time for your shit. Now, if you tell me that you jacked that caravan because, and you give me a list of reasons, and they're all good reasons, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, you did tell me that the purple otters had stolen about 7 caravans from you. Good on you. I understand. How do you think Intrepid will decide what needs to be tweaked during testing? Will they have specific people they gather feedback from? Will they just assess the general community opinion or some kind of end of testing questionnaire? Yes, all of the above. What you have to realize is not everybody's equal. Not every tester is equal. So there are going to be people that provide feedback that Steven knows the feedback's from more than just one person. If I provide Intrepid feedback, Steven knows it's not just Jahlon's personal as a player feedback. I always give Steven both sides. I'll be like, da-da-da-da-da. However, the opposition says this. I don't view giving feedback as trying to advance my personal agenda. I hate some aspects of the game. But the majority of the people do not hate those aspects of the game. So when I get asked a question on them, I outright say, this is the majority opinion. This is the minority dissenting opinion. I think that's responsible because my voice does get weighted a little bit heavier than the person Steven doesn't know. Like, Steven knows that we do this for 12 to 20 hours a week. This is a closed pool of people he can get feedback from. So yes, I think they're going to do questionnaires. I think they're going to look at every bug report. I think they're going to look at every piece of feedback. I just don't think everybody's generic feedback is, and that's why I tell you guys, don't put this sucks. If you have to use the word sucks, say this sucks because. But write your position in such a way that you are a professional and you want it to be taken professionally. Why don't I message Steven on Discord asking for another interview? I have another interview. It's in 2021. If you guys want another interview sooner, you guys need to pester him. It's going to be social movement. Is there any mechanic to prevent guilds with like 5 or 6 full guilds on a server from taking over, besides the 250 versus 250 limitation on Castle Siege? They can win elections on both scientific and economic nodes, and just siege other nodes, bringing other guilds. Okay, so say 5 full guilds with 300 people, that's 1,500 people. If 8,500 people or more get pushed around by 1,500 people, congratulations, you're on a guild full of sheep. If 8,500 of you can't fight back against 1,500, you deserve to be on a shitty server. Fight back. Fight back. I have nothing else there. Never heard of these fortresses before. Where are they located? Towns and cities? Are they on freeholds? They are on guild freeholds. Let's see. Could I suggest a question for you? Let's see. Let's pull one off the list. Oh my god. First of all, this is really bright. Oh my god, that's even worse. Second of all, I need to get into this page. Okay. Somebody wanted a question? Here's a question you can ask. There's a question to ask. Gotcha. Let's see. Any idea if there will be a guild perk that hides the tag when you're raiding a caravan? Nope, probably not. I plan on running a small pirate mercenary guild and would like to avoid the instant destruction from larger guilds. Well, yeah, that's the problem. If you're a caravan raider, you pay the price. If it's war, it's war. If I'm auto-flagged against their levelers, there's no reason why I should spare them. Why should I not antagonize them into mispositioning into their army? I won't do it when not against randoms, but against a citizen from a hostile node. Eat scorched earth. If my guild doesn't like that, then my guild isn't trying to win the war. A couple of things there. Remember, your guild may not be trying to win the war. Your guild may actually be living in the node that you're at war with. A lot of people keep confusing nodes with guild ownership. Guilds don't own nodes. Guilds don't own nodes. Nodes exist. Nodes are managed by players, but nodes simply exist. But I do agree here. So here's why. How can I say this? Here's why. They're levelers. I totally, okay, you guys know, I keep a coin on my desk. I keep several military coins on my desk because every, wow, that's bad. Everything has two sides, right? Every coin has two sides. I totally see your point. I just don't ever like killing low levels. I don't like killing low levels because the low level you kill is a player who may not come back to the game. Now, at what level? I think, like, if I see a level 5 leveling, even if I'm in a guild war with them, I'm not going to kill them because I think it's a dishonorable kill. Now, if there's a node war going on and there's some sort of kill count mechanic, again, that shifts it. If there's a kill count mechanic where we need 20 more kills to end the war, then yes, absolutely. That low level going to die because you're going to die and I'm probably going to send you a mail. Hey man, it was nothing personal. I know you're a level 5. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you've got to kill a low level, then be the good sportsman and send them a mail like, hey man, it was nothing personal and I wasn't trying to grief you, but you're in a node that's at war. I see you're low level. Is this your first character? Do you need any help understanding why you died? Take 30 seconds out of your day and just be a good steward of the game. Now, you kind of see what I'm saying there? I don't want to see the game hurt. I don't want to see the game hurt because of a bad mechanic. And you all know how people are going to quit a game if they don't understand. Like, there's people who play EVE Online. They talk to the wrong agent early on in the game. They take their brand new battleship into low sec and they get blown up and they don't understand why they got blown up. All they know is they got blown up because EVE doesn't do a very good job of explaining it. I mean, I know, and I'm talking 10 years ago. I know now there's like 3 damn warnings with pop boxes. Like, hey, you're jumping into low sec. There's a box. If you hit yes now and you fuck the box, that's on you. Get wrecked and ganked. I disagree with you because I think you have to be responsible. I think you have to be a responsible gamer to keep the player base healthy. Many games would be a lot less toxic if others would just be the good guy for like 10 seconds a day. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You can be a toxic dirtbag character. Be a toxic dirtbag griefing, ganking character. But take the 5 seconds to explain to the person why it happened. If you killed them because you need one more kill to end a competition, then kill them, send them a mail. Hey man, just to let you know, it's nothing personal. I know I'm level 50 max geared. I know you're level 5, you're probably new. I just want to let you know it wasn't personal. It was It was because your guild was at war with mine. By the way, you can't send items. So, by the way, I'd send you a loaf of bread if I could. Good game. Feel free to message me. You get 1 free question on the house. If their question is, why are you such a dick? Be like, because I am. There was your 1 free one. Anyway, I'm going to jump up real quick, and then we're going to go into the segment for today. I want to get the segment cut so I can... It didn't turn out very well. My headset was being all stupid during the segment. I want to do the segment. I want to make it nice and clean so you guys can know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the Guild PvP Flagging Flowchart again, and about all the times that you can and cannot flag on your own guild members. So let me get up, let me stretch my legs, and when I come back, we're going to do that. All right, guys, and I am back, and what we're going to do is we are going to come over here real quick, and we're going to do this segment. Except earlier in the show, this is why we can't touch. Earlier in the show, I touched. Needs to be up here. All right, so I'm not going to be able to see the chat for a couple of minutes because we're doing what we're doing is we're going to do a segment, and then we're going to open this back up to Q&A. So it's going to sound a little weird because I'm starting it off for a YouTube thing. You guys are clever people. I'm sure you're going to catch on. Stop it. All right, so what we're talking about right now is we're talking about the flagging flowchart for guild members. Now, what I mean by that is in most games, you're accustomed to certain flagging rules. And here's me, and I'm my own character, and I am in my guild. Now, what I have is obviously, I've got some guild members. And what you're expecting that your guild members are going to be your allies all the time. What you're not expecting is you're not expecting to ever have to defend yourself against your guild members. And this has happened in a couple of games where you had the ability to actually flag on your guild members. EVE Online does this. Arcade does this. You can actually have open world PvP flagging against your own guild members. Ashes of Creation has said, no, we're not doing that at all. So what we have is... Not only can we not flag on our guildmates, we can also not flag on our alliance members. So if these are the 4 Paradox guilds, they're all in one alliance. I never have to worry about as the alliance leader. I don't have to worry about internal civil war because that is just a off mechanic. We can't do that. And so a lot of people would think, okay, that makes sense. It's a guild-based game. You can't flag on your guildmates. So why are we doing this segment? The problem is that this isn't like most other games. And so your guild membership isn't your highest allegiance. So where you have that big guild logo there, we're actually going to move that down because you're going to have parts of your guild that are separated into different locations. So we're going to take away this guild logo and we're going to bring it back over here and we're going to make it much smaller because that guild membership is still there, but we're actually going to be showing off nodes. We're going to be showing off the nodes because you have citizenship in nodes, and your citizenship is actually your highest allegiance. So that actually causes some issues because while yes, you still have this green mutual ally standing from your guild membership, what you can have happen is you can have the node you live in with some guild members go to war against a different node that your other guild members live in. And what this causes is this causes your friendly status to go away, and it actually causes you to be armed combatants, legal combatants, because you're in a node war. And this brings us to several questions, one of which is, can we still even party together? Can we form a party since we're combatants? If we can form a party, will our AoEs damage each other? Now remember, you can't flag on party members or alliance members or raid members, but you wouldn't be flagging to do this attacking from your AoEs. You'd already be flagged. You'd already be a legal target. Would we be able to heal each other if we're in a guild or a node war? Would I be able to heal my guild allies if our wars are, or if our nodes are at war against each other? And then what about guild castle siege day? Would we be able to defend our home together? And these are really some of the things that we need to know. A couple of other ones that we have is, what about that guy over there? He goes corrupted. Can his guild members attack him if he's corrupted? Well, the thing is that they should be able to, because attacking a corrupted doesn't require flagging. Obviously, yes, you can flag into your bounty hunter state, or you could flag into your combatant state, but the corruption rule should be sitting on top. And then again, if they're bounty hunters, would he be a legal target for them? Because that's a flagged state. And we need to know this answer because a lot of people are saying, well, your guildmates are just going to kill you when you're corrupted so that if you drop any gear, it doesn't go to random people. Well, this is one of those gray areas. I don't have to flag on corrupted, so can I kill him? What if we've got a guild member who's running a caravan? Can a spy in the guild jump his own guildmate's caravan? And the answer should be yes, because you don't have to flag for caravans. But the caravan system's its own targeting system. But then what about if you had a spy that was trying to leave your node with a bunch of stolen stuff? Would you be able to flag on him to attack him? And again, these are the questions we have. The mentality is no, you wouldn't have to flag because the caravan system has its own flagging mechanic, but we need solid answers. And then what about a node siege? So we're allies, and then somebody drops a node declaration, a siege declaration banner on our node. Can my guildmates jump in on that? So those are some of the questions that I came up with. A lot of people had asked me about that. I want to jump in here with the chat and see what you guys have to say on those topics, because I know some of them are kind of a little confusing. That caravan, yeah, that caravan is pretty sick. I own that caravan. I actually own that caravan skin. It doesn't look like you guys got any questions. I know some of you were here on Monday, so that's fine. I wanted to make sure to recut that piece, that little piece for the segment. If it doesn't turn out to be a YouTube cuttable segment, that's still fine. Oh, let's see. A guild shouldn't restrict choices. Yes, I agree. A guild should not restrict choices. Can we attack guildies' caravans? I don't know. I think the answer is yes, because you don't have to flag on your guildie. You can, you don't have to flag on your guildie. The mechanic itself has a flagging system. So, I think ally or your own guild member can attack or flag on it because of the Lineage 2 PvP PK system. Yes, but you can't flag on your guildmates. In Ashes of Creation, you cannot flag on your guildmates or your alliance mates. So I can't just walk up to you, flag up, and kill you. I think I'd be able to enter into a legal combatant state with you, but I don't think I can just randomly flag to gank you. I agree, a guild is the folks you play with, not your allegiance within the game system. I definitely do agree with that statement. Would you accept to relocate it, if it was in your guild's interest to take down a node? I don't think it's ever going to be in my interests to take out my node. That's where the interesting point comes in. I don't think it's ever going to be in my interest to destroy my node because that's where my housing is. I could understand if my guild wants to remove my node for the guild, the regions, the overall health of everything's benefit. But it's gonna be a real hard sell for you to say to me, I need you to move so we can blow up the place that you have your house. You know, that's a little rough. I was asking on Discord about needing to join a scientific guild or merchant guild depending on node preference. No, I'm gonna probably end up living in a scientific node because I want access to the building, but I still need to see the divine and the military node blogs. So you will defend your node against your guild. Hell yes, I will defend my node against my guild because I'm invested in my node. To say I would defend my node against my guild, what does my guild have to do with the node system? That's what a lot of people can't get their head wrapped around. What does the guild have to do with the node system? Yes, my node has my house and my storage in it. Why is my guild coming and breaking my shit? People are like, well, guilds control nodes, and that's where they get lost. No, they don't. No, they don't. I can make a list of what a guild has to do with the node system. You could, but the truth is that people are trying to force guilds over the node system, and guilds don't have management over the node system. There are patron guilds for certain nodes. Nodes have patron guilds, but I say the node system isn't a guild system because you do not have to be a guild leader or a guild officer to be a mayor. Anybody can be a mayor. Castles are a guild system because only the guild leader can be the monarch of a castle. Even during the siege, only the guild leader and one designated officer can complete the channel. So yeah, and as Frost said, we would also defend our nodes against Jahlon if needed. And that's true. I mean, I would have the foresight to realize, like, I'm going to be honest, and we do our nodes by the sea example. Here's my nodes by the sea example. Like, the Paradox Guild main node that we live in, not the main node that we own, but the main node we live in is on the water because it's located near the water and we do a lot of naval content. But you don't necessarily want to live in a scientific node. You want to live in that military node like 20 minutes away. That's where you want your citizenship. Well, that's fine. But if you decided that your military node was going to siege our city node on the water because you wanted your military node to grow, I'd be like, that's cool. Go ahead and do it. It's content, but don't expect Paradox to like let you come and knock down our shit. You know? That's how it's going to be. We're not going to roll over. If you can bring better people to take it, take it. In practice, guild members who fight against the rest of the guild in a node war will probably be kicked from the guild. You know, a lot of guild leaders have said that to me in some guild leader discussions, and I said, I don't think you guys understand how the game is going to work at all. I think you think the game works how you want it to work, but you're not listening to things. You're assuming that every person in your guild wants to live in the same node type because you're not hearing the point where you get augments from your node. You're not hearing the point where the low-level nodes can only have one or two social organizations in them. If you might have people who need a thieves guild. You might have people who need a thieves guild. They can't live in your node. They need to live in the closest node that has thieves guild. An organized guild should exist in an alliance chain of nodes to avoid this problem. An organized guild can't even control one node, let alone multiple nodes. You can realistically maybe control a level 3 node, a level 4 node in-house. Beyond level 4, even an alliance isn't going to be able to control a level 5 node. Ideally, a guild's members are concentrated in an area where many different types of high-level nodes congregate. Number 1, many different types of high-level nodes cannot congregate. Every node is going to have a standoff distance to where a equally level node can't be. I think what people are having a hard time with, okay? I think what people are having a hard time with, I need the gridded map. The travel time for these grids that I overlaid on the map, to the best of my knowledge, it is 20 to 30 minutes between each one of these colored grids. 20 to 30 minutes for each colored grid. That's a long travel time if you have to go 4 grids over to find the node you need. You're talking 2 hours of travel time, and that's what people aren't understanding about the game. People aren't grasping that this world is huge. People just aren't grasping that. The world is big, okay? The world is big. It's not like Arcade, and Arcade is really the only example I can give. It's not like Arcade, even on foot to get from Yinister to Astera is 20 minutes. No, it's not like that. You're talking, if you're talking the 654 chain, you're talking a significant amount of time. Is that 30 minutes by foot? That was 30 minutes at 6.4 meters per second. People are all like, "Oh shit, he knows the meters per second." Yeah. 30 minutes at 6.4 meters per second. But won't a metro have a couple of cities in its vassal system? Yes. However, just because it has a couple of cities in its vassal system doesn't mean that those vassals aren't 30 minutes to an hour away. So a lot of people got this shit in their head, and I understand. You're used to your game world being small. Break that paradigm until you know for a fact the guild world is that small. Karthos, a lot of people have shit in their head. Oh, Karthos, you're a bad man, by the way. I just want you to know that. You know why you're a bad man, but you're a bad man. There will no doubt be alliances that have scheduled demolitions and will pool resources to rebuild the next node to unlock new content. Yes, that is true. There will be alliances that specifically move nodes around until their grand plan runs into a group of people that say, "Nah, you're not burning down this node." But how many of a single 50-person guild will have their home in the same area? That's a good question. Somebody said, I didn't see it. Nodes are limited. Oh, I got a hypermine thanks to Karthos. Somebody said about housing that nodes have a finite amount of housing. That is true, but they have a lot of housing. Instance departments are the way that you're going to get a lot of people living in a node. Do you think they will have a date for Alpha 1 soon? No, I do not think they will have a date for Alpha 1 soon. Here's why. This is just my opinion. I don't think that they're able to maintain the pace on the engineering side that they are able to maintain on the art side. And here's why. Artists are kind of individuals. You give an art, like, for example, and I'll show them off again. I gave my artist instructions the other night. One of the artists in my Discord, he put together a couple of sketches for me. I was able to send those sketches off to the artist. The artist that does my emotes was able to quick turn these in like less than a day. That's That's how art works. Because the artist and I had already gone over the initial emotes. Adding 5 more of the chibis was easy. Once you know, like Jinsey, I'm pretty certain that Jinsey doesn't need to have daily conversations with her boss. Jinsey is the artist who did the dragon. You basically just need to give Jinsey the list of work you need, the prioritized list of what you need now, and she's just going to go to town on it. Probably at this point, I would be very skeptical to believe she even needs to have her work corrected. She just needs time to build it. However, engineers aren't like that. While yes, they can go and they can code things, they need a lot of test point feedback. Having them all working from home has got to be more difficult than the artists working from home. I could be wrong, but I would say that the engineering team is suffering more than the art team. Because they can't even send their people to the office to set up servers and stuff and work, and like they can't. Intrepid Studios is not considered an essential function, so they are not permitted to work in office. Like, sure, you can send 1 or 2 people into the office because you can shoehorn 1 or 2 people's job description into you are server technicians, you are engineering technicians. I can only do my job at the office, and then they'd be able to go in. But you're not having like the whole engineering team working together. I think the pandemic hit at a horrible time for Intrepid Studios because it separated their team out. I think that they need to do the next round of testing with the leaders of men to get a lot of data. And then again, it's just like on a much simpler scale. I had a crappy webpage. I had a crappy webpage. I put it out there in the public. I got a bunch of feedback. I went with a couple of guys. We made a bunch of changes. I put it back out in the public. I got some more feedback. We made a bunch of changes, and so on and so forth. I think Intrepid needs that next Leaders of Men iteration of information, and then they'll do another round. But it's gonna depend on how much they have to change with the Leaders of Men testing. In an ideal world, in a best case scenario, when they do the Leaders of Men testing, they will have no back end issues, struggles, fumbles, stumbles, or bumbles. Literally, the back end will be like, "Nah, I got this, boss," and then the engineering team can be like, "Okay, good." Adding the Leaders of Men in, we have no issues. Then they'll be able to plan ahead. For when to bring the Bravers of World in, and then bring all the Intrepid pack holders in. But yeah, right now, I don't think they're ready to give an Alpha 1 date because they don't want to give a date that's going to fall on its face. I'll be your date for Alpha 1. I'll even buy dinner. I'm pretty sure that Mrs. Jahlon would object to me going on a date. As sexy as you are, Karthos. Don't forget, guilds elect mayors in scientific and military nodes. No, guilds cannot elect mayors in military nodes. We've already discussed how there's a flaw in that system. If it's a 500-person battle royale, then yes, a streamer is going to have all his people surround him. A guild leader is going to have all his people surround him. We've already worked out ways that can be easily fixed. Really simple way that you can fix all the guild bullshit shenanigans is all the people that are in the same guild, they get put in the same qualifying matchup. Well, that's not fair. Yes, it is. It's not equal, but it's definitely fair. The one pay-to-win aspect I see persisting with this system is a guild full of those people subbing with enough alts to fill in a family by themselves and can zerg with the family teleport by planting an alt in each 5 or 6 node. What do you think about that? Already worked that out, Exile Nerd. It's real simple. Just put a 12 to 16 hour debuff on the person being pulled. If there's a 12 to 16 hour debuff on the person being pulled, congratulations. Somebody's paying for a second account that they can use once a day. It also means they get pulled once a day and they have to walk back. Honestly, and we talked about this and we can keep talking about it, I do not mind. If you make it so it's a 16-hour cooldown, It's a 16-hour cooldown on the pulled. The person who was pulled. Then there's no abuse. Because then everybody gets one pull per 16-hour period. The 30-hour period that Steven said, I'm just like, you know, that's not going to work. But then again, remember, sometimes you throw out, I'm not saying you threw out a bad suggestion. Sometimes you throw out an unfinished, unformed idea to let all the people in the world respond to that idea. So he puts out we're going to do a family teleport with a 30-minute cooldown. And then he lets the community respond to that. Maybe he thought it should be a 20-hour cooldown in the very beginning, but maybe the community is going to be okay with 16. Maybe the community is going to be okay with 12. Our community here at Paradox, we kind of agree somewhere between 12 and 18 hours on that cooldown fixes it. So, yeah. Do we know if action combat is going to be the same as Apocalypse? The action combat is going to be very much based on the Apocalypse combat, but it's going to be improved. Remember, Alpha 1 was supposed to be after Castle Siege and Horde mode. They were supposed to have 3 iterations of action combat. I disagree with Intrepid making Alpha 1 their priority. I think they really needed to make the Castle Siege mode their priority because they really needed to sell the action combat. However, the other side of the coin is I definitely understand why they wanted to showcase the MMORPG, because if they show off the MMORPG, then it shuts up all the people who are going to say when they release Castle Siege mode, you don't want to try to pander or combat the mindless, faceless voices, but there was going to be a hoopla due to how poorly received the Battle Royale was. So I agree that they're making I'm not saying they're making a bad decision doing the MMORPG first. I totally see why they're doing it, and I think that's a very smart decision. I just think that if the Castle Siege mode was close, the Castle Siege mode might have been a good deliverable. They just need to make sure that when they show off Alpha 1, they make sure to explain, hey, the action combat you're seeing is still very early iteration, and then do that explanation I just did. Our original plan was to have had 2 major testing cycles on the action combat. Now we're going to have to do this backwards a little bit and just keep repeating. The action combat is going to continue getting better and better and better. Would it be possible for a larger guild to have 4 sub-branches, 1 sub-branch for each node playstyle? I mean, yes, a guild could do that. Might not be necessarily the best way, depending on the distance traveled, but it would be a good thing. I'm gonna grab I have questions from a couple of other places. I'm gonna grab one. Question I got asked is, could smart players have 4 level tunes and alternative nodes, enabling them to log in and check auction house prices for herbs or fish before sending their main tune plus the caravans to the ends of the earth where demand is the highest? How would you find out where to send your materials for the best price? Yeah, there was EVE Online, a lot of people did this. I mean, EVE Online had an interesting API market, which I think ruined the game. But yes, I could definitely see people having alts placed in certain places so that they could check the auction house prices in those locations that have auction houses, or run their... I mean, it all depends on if you can see the prices of goods without having the good on you. One way that they can combat a lot of that alt intel data shenanigans is if you don't have the wolf pelt, you can't see what the game warden is going to give you for a wolf pelt. So you'd have to have one. Now, I know what a lot of people would do is they would just bring one of each of everything, leave it on their alt. I mean, that's still work. You can never stop people abusing alts. You can never stop people from abusing alts. You can just make it as big of an ass pain as possible. Do we know if there'll be weather effects at sea that will impact ships? I don't have a hard confirmation on that. I would imagine that would be something that they would do because it's pretty commonplace, but I wrote that one down. weather effects. I do have ships weather effects on there. Repost. To prevent my guild from always warring with each other, my guild members will all reside in the same node. Hence, my guild will own a node. Here's the confusion people have. The problem with that theory is... Oh, here he is. The problem with that theory is, again, are you going to tell your guild members they must reside in the same node? If yes, be prepared to lose some guild members. Are you willing to accept that some of your guild members don't have the most optimal configurations for their characters because you're forcing them to take not best in slot augments for some of their abilities? Because you've told your cleric he has to live in a military node, your cleric gets cut off from the religious building that's only in a divine node because some of the functions at the unique building are only available to citizens. All of your crafters don't have access to the top level things that are offered in the scientific node. All of your merchants don't have the things that are available in the top level, the Emporium. You can't simply dictate terms to your guild and say you will all live here. You certainly can, but with that choice comes cost. There is risk and reward, so that is the risk of it. Uh-oh, am I in trouble? Okay, perfect. I had sent something into Toast. Toast is amazing. I sent something into Toast. I was fielding the same question over and over and over again. Oh, let me I was fielding the same question over and over and over again, and I think if I get the question like 20 times, I'd probably Intrepid's getting it more. It's just about the game time in the Founders Packs. Your game time doesn't start running until launch. I really can't believe Dual Universe is making people have a subscription during beta. Have they talked about ways for paying your subscription in-game, or no chance of that? There won't be any WoW tokens because that's pay to win. I spend $15, I put a WoW token up for 5,000 gold. That's straight pay to win. And Intrepid doesn't need your gold, so they kind of need your money. What they are going to do is they are going to do possibly regionalized server for regionalized prices. Just keep in mind, if they do a Brazilian server with regionalized prices, keywords there, if they do, with regionalized prices, Steven said that would be, it's a pretty standard thing. If you play on a regionalized server, you are locked to that regionalized server. There is no IP or region locking. So if you're in Brazil and you want to pay $15 a month, you can play in North America. If you play in Brazil and you want to pay $5 a month, you have to play on the Brazilian regional server. Let's see. I see some folks saying no to the family pool while playing because I don't want to have to cross an ocean to get home to do a dungeon while I'm getting some more on the other side of the world. I mean, why are you traveling to the other side of the world without your people, without your static? Remember, your family, your 8-person family, the reason why it's 8 people is the party size is 8 people. That's your adventuring group. That's your static. And I know some people say, well, I'm going to have my own alts in my family. Cool. You can do that. The problem is that then you can't get summoned. Now, sure, you can get summoned back and forth. If you're a casual, you have 2 accounts, or you have a friend, and you put, like, I invite you, you invite my alt, I invite your alt, and now we can go on adventures around the world, and then we can pull you back. Sure, but I don't see that as abusive. In a recent stream, we talked about summoning ships from land or ports. Wouldn't it be ideal to be able to summon based on the size, based on the ship size, allow a rowboat or a fishing boat from land and something big like a galleon only in ports? Ben, the problem with that is that you may not always have a port somewhere that you want it, and then to make people sail a galleon from a port, but they can do a fishing boat from anywhere in land. Yes, it would be cool if we could only summon our boats in port. However, it's a game. You have to allow access to the game features in the game. If you make things so restrictive, it stops being a game. It starts being a chore. It starts being a second job. Like, if I'm down the coastline and people are like, oh, well, we want to go sailing, I gotta run all the way back to the node, summon my galleon, and then sail all the way down the coastline. Yeah, that's cool. About the first 18 times you have to do it. But then it's going to become a matter of, well, this sucks. I guess we're not doing galleon stuff tonight. I guess we're not going sailing at the spur of a moment because it's going to take an hour to get the boat. I definitely agree, though, with Steven, and they said you're not going to be able to ass pocket your ships out in the middle of the world, in the middle of the ocean. So if your boat gets destroyed and you only brought one galleon with you, guess what? You just lost the naval engagement because you can't pull another galleon out at water. Get to swimming, boys. If you want your guild to occupy a node, you infiltrate the node, then purposely lose it to your guild. Depends on the military. Depends on the node type. You will not own a node as there will be many more people aside from you and your guild in that node. Your guild individually will not be enough to level and maintain a high-level node. It will require multiple guilds alliances, making it a community in which nobody owns the node. Yes. And I will admit I didn't really like the parliamentary round-based system voting. However, now that I thought about it, yeah, now that I thought about it, I think that does make sense. Z wanted to see the kitty. Oh, you better not try to run out the door. You have claws. These guys are so bad I had to buy them toys. So they have there are toys coming for these mongrels. Oh, you need brushes. Calm down. Gotta brush him. I haven't had a chance to brush him today. How is action combat going to work with caster types and healers? I'm used to tag target MMOs where I just face roll the keyboard to use my abilities. I understand how melee combat it could be used, but not caster or caster type classes. Having played caster type classes in MMOs, yes, it's possible. Keep in mind, the game isn't action combat. The game is hybrid combat. On Ashes 101, I have a combat discussion. The long story short of it is if you're a tab player, you can play as a tab player. 25% of your skills have to be action. You can take a maximum splice of 75-25. So 75% can be action, 25 must be tab, 25% can be tab, 75% can be tab, 25 must be action. Also, action just aren't skill shots. They're ground reticles, they're AoEs based off of you. Anything that doesn't have a locked tab target is considered action. They show the MMO because it shuts up its zizzes of the world. Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, I know that I've done some inflammatory pieces over the years, but one thing I always try to do is if I'm going to do an inflammatory piece, I'm gonna provide all the references, all of how did I get there. Sometimes Steven has contacted me publicly and privately, been pissed off about a video I've done. That's okay. I don't run and hide. Hold on, he wants to go out. No, he doesn't. Oh, yes, he does. Go on. You want to go out? You hungry? Go play. Like I said, I got to put a cat door in the wall so they can come and go. There have been times I've done a video, Steven hasn't been happy with it, and that's okay. Steven doesn't have to be happy with every single piece of content I make. What I have to be able to do, though, is if I make a statement as a content creator, I had better be able to bring my research and my citations of where I got there. Just like there was the whole, the Alpha 1 thing, and I very publicly disputed reopening Alpha 1 sales, and Steven addressed it. And then there are some other things I could have used, but I think that by challenging Steven on that, the answer they gave was acceptable. It was fair. And that's, if you've watched Draft Day with Kevin Costner, it's not about everybody getting what they want. It's about what's fair. I think their Alpha 1 answer was fair because it got criticized vocally, publicly, loudly. But at the end of the day, I see their point. I see my point. We throw it all together. And on that particular issue, their argument was the stronger argument. Had I prepared my argument a little bit better, I could have made a bit stronger of an argument. At the end of the day, I want more alpha testers. Personally, my personal position is I want more alpha testers. Sometimes I have to say things I don't want to say because they need to be said, because they reflect this entire community. I am not the arbitrary voice of this community. I am just the guy with the microphone. So sometimes I say stuff that not necessarily my own personal feeling, but I make the community argument. Sub question on weather effect. Will winter seasons affect ice on the sea? I have no idea, but that's a good question. Maybe if a guild just runs away from the gate day one, they might be able to control a node. However, over time, they will either lose the node to war or someone else, depending on the type of node. Yes, exactly. Nodes are not checkpoints, nodes are not checkpoints for caravans. What you should do is you should only run your node you should only run your caravan to the next node to where you can get safely. Remember, risk versus reward. You take your caravan to where you believe you can get it to the destination safely. Obviously, you can only speculate, but what do you think they'll do for Stranger? Augment combos like 4 fighter augments on the prismatic beam? I have no idea. I can't speculate on the augments. I haven't even seen. I've gotten the same augments that you guys have gotten. I don't want to speculate on that because, again, that's one of those ones if I speculate on it, people are going to run with it. I don't want to speculate on that one. I want to wait patiently for that one. Is this game going to be available on Steam or any other trusted platform? No. They're going to have their own launcher? Interesting question, though. Interesting way that you put trusted platform. I mean, they're doing their own launcher. If I get a Voyager pack, for instance, which gives me 6 months game time, will that game time start after the official launch? Yes. After official launch. Let's see. Depending on the node type, the Alliance may not be able to control who is mayor. Correct. If it's a scientific node, then the Alliance and guilds that make up the Alliance, then it will be very hard to take away its control of the node. No, not at all. Keep in mind, guys, thousands of people live in the largest nodes. Thousands. You're making the assumption, okay, an Alliance is at most 1,200 people. Now, I know what you're going to say. There's gaming organizations that will be multiple alliances. True. And there's nothing we can do about that. But an alliance in game of 1,200 people wouldn't be able to, by themselves, control the vote in a scientific metropolis. Also, you're banking on the fact that all 1,200 members are living in the metropolis, which we've already established is probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. You're not going to be able to tell an entire guild that they have to live in a node, especially if that node is not advantageous to my personal goals. Keep in mind, you will have people who stay in your guild because they're loyal to the guild above all. But you're going to have to build your guild with new people. Unless you have 1,200 people ready to go, you're going to lose people that you try to dictate terms to them. I'm just saying. Will seasons be in the alpha testing this year? I do not know. I wouldn't think the seasons would be in the alpha testing this year because the seasons aren't really a core system, and Alpha 1 is the core systems. Let's see. The game needs brothels. Not if they want to maintain their T rating. Will there eventually be an open beta? No, there will not be an open beta. The only way you're going to be able to get into beta without paying for it is if we keep growing my channel and I get more and more alpha keys. So we gotta press the Paradox Gaming Network. We're advancing in all lanes right now, guys. We're YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. You know, everywhere we have a social media presence, we are pressing forward. Looking good, man. The cam looks way better now. Yeah, what I did was I rearranged some lights. Once I can get a paired key light, I think it'll look better. Enough people said that things were wrong. I need to dip down. I probably should just do that while we're sitting here, right? That might help some of the time. I gotta turn off these. I gotta turn off the. Oh, I had that one set. Oh, I unplugged that one. That's why. Okay. Thousands of citizens. Yes, Metropolis can support thousands of citizens. Thousands. Let's see. You don't trust You don't trust Steam. I use it, but I don't trust it. Yeah, I feel that way too. I actually have a couple of Steam accounts because a couple of games. Sometimes I want to buy a game on Steam, but I don't want to put my entire Steam library at risk. So, the world looks so nice in the alpha footage already. All the models' lighting are on point. Here's the best part: the graphic fidelity of the game looks great, and it's not done. It's not done yet. They still have at least one animation pass. Oh yeah, we were talking about this last night. It was funny. I'm not quite sure if I want to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. There were people early on in Ashes of Creation's thing. They're like, you're using stock assets. Who cares? Who cares? It like Steven explained it. Yeah, they use some stock assets so they could lay out the world. Guess what? The kit he bought for Unreal was $40,000. What's the difference between buying a $40,000 tree library and paying an artist $60,000 to do the job? I mean, do you think there's very many people in the world that are doing all naturally organic everything? Yeah, stock assets is normal. If this was if using pine tree number 17 was the worst offense they had, get out of here. We're not talking this is a Chronicles of Illyria where their parkour level was basically entirely downloaded from Unreal. $40,000 for trees. Yeah, go look it up, man. Unreal library. I mean, but that's common. You think I don't know what people's problem with Unreal Engine is. But do you think that other game engines don't have stock assets? If you don't believe me, look up Crowfall. And one of the things they talk about is Crowfall was having a hard time with the performance of their stock assets. The Crowfall literally said, we're having to take a pause here because we're having a problem with the stock assets we used. Oh, you caught me, Professor Coop. I was sitting on my leg. Thanks for that. Went for a run yesterday. My bad knee is kind of bothering me. But I definitely gotta not be I definitely need to not be sitting on my bad knee. I was in OTS. I dislocated my knee. I tried to go over an obstacle and I didn't make it, and I really hurt the hell out of my knee. So when my knee hurts, it's natural for me to fold it under myself. Let's see. Do you think that the population of a max level node will affect its PvP? As in, one max level node with a higher population will beat another in a siege. Professor, gotta drill into your head. Man. Nodes don't siege other nodes. The siege mechanic is launched by an individual who plants a flag, okay? That opens up the siege mechanic. But it's not this node versus this node in a siege. It's this node versus this node in node wars. Sieges are different than wars. It's okay. People keep mistaking the systems, and that's perfectly okay. This is a reason why my brand is called Ashes 101. It's a school. It's, I was joking earlier. My guide right now is 27,000 pages, which is as large as some people's master's thesis. So I've written more on Ashes of Creation than some people write to get a master's thesis. OTS Air Force? Yes, I was Air Force. I am a retired captain. I retired. I got retired. What are node wars? Node wars... No, not 27,000 pages. 27,000 words. Did I say pages? If I said pages, I'm wrong. That would be larger than the game design document. That'd be a bad summation. 27,000 words. Node wars are where one node goes to war with another war. Quite simply, all the citizens in this node are at war with all the citizens in this node. Repost. It says in the shop that I can upgrade my $150 Kickstarter to Braver of Worlds. Would I get into alpha with that? Yes, you would. You would upgrade your package, and you would be now a Braver of Worlds holder. If anybody does have a Kickstarter package and they upgrade above Braver of Worlds, you will need to put in a ticket, and then I would recommend waving your hands frantically on the Discord trying to get Toast or Margaret's attention, so that they can get you into the front of the line. The queue's a little long right now. If I said 27,000 pages, I do apologize. I meant 27,000 words. There's a huge difference between pages and words. It's like 57 pages, but it's 27,000 words. It'll be longer soon. That's why I'm sitting at Braver. Leaders of Men is way too much of a hassle. I don't think it's too much of a hassle. You could probably get their attention pretty quick and be like, hey, let me in. Let's see, popping in for a bit to hope the stream goes well. We'll be watching the upload on YouTube. Keep up the awesome work, everyone. Yes, keep up the awesome work, everyone. Not just me, everyone. From the ninjas that are doing the HTML work to the people who pull questions for me. Yes. Everyone, it's a team effort. From the people who share my videos to the people who kick over rocks and get their friends in here. Why do you bother doing these Q&As over and over and over without any new information from the devs? Seems like you've answered every single question by now. For several reasons. Number one, just because I've answered the question 50 times doesn't mean that everybody has gotten their answer 50 times. So I will keep answering the questions as long as people have them. I will answer their questions. It doesn't hurt me to continue doing this. Plus, every time I do this show, I walk away with one or two questions that I didn't have written in my book of questions, and it also lets me know what stuff people are looking for most. So the truth of the matter is, I have a segment that came out of I have a segment that came out of today's show so far. I've got some things I need to do, and it's all about just being available. And people bring up good points. Plus, I'm gonna be honest. I want to be a Twitch partner, and this is sorry about my chair. I can't even find a chair in Office Depot or Office Max. It's like every piece of office furniture in my local area is gone. Plus the fact the base flooded. I don't know if they did local purchases. The base flood was bad, man. One of their buildings, like the water was pretty high. They lost a bunch of them. What footage is this? This is from the March pre-alpha footage. Wait, is someone from Intrepid watching? Yes, there is somebody from Intrepid watching. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon that Steven sits in here and, hangs out. He's probably working. Occasionally he'll hear something. Where is option 3 on the poll? Combined mayo and ketchup. The person didn't put it in. The person sent in the poll. So, I have turned about 30 people onto Ash as a creation in the last week, and every single one of them won't stop asking me questions. I just direct them to you. Tired of answering the same thing so many times. Appreciate the work. I 100% endorse you sending people to me. Send people to me. I miss being a teacher. Those of you that don't know my background, I was a teacher before 9/11. I was teaching 7th grade social studies on the day that the towers hit the day that the first tower hit the day the first plane hit the tower. We were finishing up current affairs, and I had the TV on. We were doing whatever, Channel 1. We had Channel 1 news on. And as I turned Channel 1 off, it kicked over to the news, and the news was broadcasting, and I was like, what the hell am I looking at? I was like, holy hell, that's the Twin Towers. And so we were going on our way to church. I taught at a Catholic school. And when we got back, the world exploded. Literally, the second tower got hit, the Pentagon got hit. I enlisted in the military, but I miss being a teacher. I really do miss being a teacher. So this is great for me. This is my master's degree in education at work. I have a Noble chair, pretty decently priced. Secret Labs have my wife has a Secret Lab chair. She has a throne, but because she's short. My wife's 5'2". Really, really funny to see us in public together. Really, really funny. In fact, you know what the nice thing is, guys? The nice thing is I can actually use my sit-stand desk now. I just forgot about that. I was aiming for the camera to, I wanted the, I can go a little higher now that that's it. So yeah, I have a sit-stand desk. I'm gonna stand up for a little bit, guys. Yeah, I enjoy this. I need to get a new chair. I might get a Secret Labs chair. I don't know anybody that has a Secret Labs chair that's not a throne. So I want to see. I was a little worried about getting a Secret Labs chair. My cats have torn up my wife's a little bit, but this is my office is, if I'm not in it, the cats have to be out of it. What's Steven's name on Twitch? Please don't bombard Steven when he's here. Steven is always invited to my channel as Steven, not as creative director at Intrepid Studios. Steven is not he is not an answer pinata when he's on my show. If Steven wants to be an answer pinata when he's on my show, he'll be on the screen with me. He'll have a mic. If he wants to type something, he wants to talk about Star Trek, he wants to talk about why the Intrepid class starship is his favorite one, Steven gets to come into my channel as a human being. If he ever does talk, please don't do what people do on the Discord and treat him or any other staff member. If like Bacon shows up or Margaret or Toast or anybody pops in, they are not answer pinatas. Okay, they're just another person. With that said, if he comes in, Steven knows he can call me on Discord and he can jump in. I actually need to remind myself to I gotta set up the call-in screen. I have it on my other screen collection, just in case I ever say something and he wants to jump in and be like, hey, you said something, I want to jump in on that point. He can call in for 2 seconds, talk about one thing, he can type it. But yeah, thanks, Frost. We don't treat, there's other game developers that come in here too. We got a guy named Dr. Greenspoon, we got a guy named Scribbles, we got a guy named Prometheus. Game developers from 4 different companies will pop in here and sometimes talk. So please always welcome them as friends, not as answer pinatas. Let's see. Thought on whether corruption should be dealt to all who participate in killing a green or just the one dealing the death blow. I think everybody who's involved in killing the green should get corruption. That'll be something I lobby for, depending on how I need to see the system. I have a lot of ideas, but so does Steven, and his ideas are better 99% of the time. I agree with the direction he's going. The ones that we have a debate about, Steven has said, that's cool, test it my way and then give me feedback. I mean, what more can you ask from that? Steven's not going to be like, oh yeah, I was going to do it this way, but then Jay said, let me just change it. No, as long as he's going to be honestly receptive to feedback. And guys, remember, this game and then a couple other games that I showcase, they are games that are actually in alpha. They are in alpha. Changes can be made. These are not games that are being localized from Asia where there's nothing you're going to be able to do. It's like when ArcAge came over, we were giving them all this stuff, like ArcAge Unchained specifically. We were telling them all this stuff is wrong, and they're like, oh, we'll get it changed. But it never got changed. If something's like, there have been a couple of things they've done major design changes on because of community feedback. Intrepid actually cares about the quality of their game. We are now your 7th graders. Aw. Did you know the scary part is my 7th graders are now in their 30s? Because I was teaching at 20. My 7th graders are now in their 30s, changing the world. Like I get emails still occasionally. I have the same email address from all those years ago. Hey, Mr. J, do you remember me? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, of course I remember you. I only had 120 students. Overall, no, I had more than that. I only had 120 grade school students. Of course I remember you all. I got all your photographs from the class photos, you know? I need your help with this. One kid was in the military and he's like, I need your help with this. I'm applying to OTS. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I'm an active duty captain. What do you need? And he's like, no way, you're a captain. He's like, where are you at? He was at the base I was at. I just met him for lunch. I was like, what do you need? Let's look at your portfolio. He's now captain. Uh-oh. Let's see. I really need to talk with the dev about the open world PvP plus corruption system. They are doing a big mistake there. No, they're not. The corruption system is perfect. It's got some flaws inside the system, but the purpose of the corruption system is perfect. The walking animation on this character looks kind of floating to me. Yes, animations, there's going to be another pass. There's going to be another pass. Are there any monk or martial arts classes? No, there are not any monk or martial arts classes. One answer I do want to get from Steven. When Steven first did his first 24-hour stream, he said that there were 12 archetypes originally, and they chopped it down to 8. And I'm really interested to know if monk and druid were 2 of the 4 they cut. ArcH has 100 players on average on Steam now. Yes, but keep in mind, ArcH has its own launcher. Very few people use ArcH through the Steam launcher. They just use it for the free stuff. 240 viewers, WTF? Yeah, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. We're just continuing to grow. We had a 200% hype train to start the show today. You guys are amazing. We've got the secret envelope. There's something in the envelope. I don't know what's in here. I have students who have montages and school-age kids, or mortgages and school-age kids now. Yeah, right, Garthos? You're like, wow, I'm old. Do we have confirmation if non-combatant automatically turns to a combatant when attacking with the basic attacks really intentional? Do we have confirmation if non-combatants automatically turn to combatants when attacking with basic left-click attacks? They don't. You have to flag. Like, I can click on you all I want, okay? I can click on you all I want, but if I'm not flagged for combat, I can't hit you. Smells like expansion classes. There probably will not be expansion classes. You guys have to realize to just add one class requires them to do rework of every single class. So that's 17 subclasses they have to build. You probably won't see expansion classes. You are more likely to see expansion augments and expansion weapons long before you see expansion classes. Repost. Could an alchemist go on a foraging expedition with an herbalist as a bodyguard? Even though the alchemist cannot collect the herbs, they could split the herbs as payment for being a bodyguard. Yes, that would be a good way to do it. Would a bodyguard mule be better for the herbalist than just going alone with his own backpack? What about 5 gatherers sharing a mule? Okay, so a couple of things, and this is a good question. This came from my Discord. Sorry, I haven't gotten a chance. Haven't gotten a chance to get there. So keep in mind, when you're out there in the wilderness, you have a very, very, very small personal backpack for gatherables, redeemable certificates, and processed goods. You can only carry so many of these things with you. Now, as you're out there gathering, your backpack fills up. If you don't want to have to run back and forth to your point of storage a bunch of times, what you need to do is pop out a mule. And a mule holds 10 times as much as you do. So it is possible that a bunch of people, there's a lot of different ways that you can use this to your advantage. So one thing is 5 people could go out gathering if they found one of those large veins that has multiple hits in it. And you go out and it could be a tree, a really, really big tree that doesn't fall down right away, like a sequoia, and it has a lot of chops to it, or a silver vein that has a lot of hits to it. And what you do is you have 5 people out there and you just fill up one person's mule and then send 2 people back, 1 guard and the mule owner, and you run that back to the nearby point of storage. And then you come back And then another pair of people have already departed with a full mule, or you fill up another mule. This was pretty common in EVE Online. You would have miners and you'd shuttle back and forth with an Iteron until they released the Orca, until they released something with a big cargo hold. The thing is, you can't spawn a caravan out in the wild. So you're going to be moving from your gathering spots to your point of storage. From your point of storage, you would then load a caravan, which is 10 times what your mule can hold. So yes, a bodyguard and a mule would be better for the herbalist rather than just going with his own backpack, unless you're near your freehold and you can do a lot of quick runs back and forth. Remember, time is money. Every minute you spend going back and forth, from the time you stop gathering till the time you get to your freehold, drop off your stuff, and get back to where you could gather, all that is lost time. But if you lose your mule, then you wasted all your time. So it's risk versus reward. Do I get more mining done because I stay out there and use a mule? Or do I get less mining done but 100% likelihood I get back? Or 80% if somebody killed you? Can you put me down as a reference? Now that the community is getting bigger, I can't guarantee I can do what I used to do, but if you absolutely positively need a reference or help for something, we can make that happen. I'm all about helping people get ahead in the world. Let's see. The corruption is fine, the experience and gear loss is fine, but not the weakening part. Remember, the weakening part isn't against bounty hunters. And remembering the weakening part, you get weaker depending on how much corruption you've sacked. Keep in mind, and I know people don't like to hear this, don't murder people unless you have a damn good reason to murder people. Also keep in mind, a lot of the corruption discussion is happening on the polar extremes of the concept, of the theme. Most people are going to flag up to defend themselves because they take half of a death penalty when they're a combatant. If you die as a green, you take a 100% death penalty. If you die as a purple, you take 50%. A lot of people, if they think they even have a 50-50 chance of winning, they're going to flag up to defend themselves. Plus, because this game isn't a 3-hit wombo combo, you're dead, a 30-second floor to the time to kill, yeah, you're going to have a lot more people fighting back. That's also why I tell all the Care Bears, go play some EVE. And then why I'm going to try to put the EVE Online... Hold on one second. You don't come around often. This is my wife's cat. She doesn't come around often. A lot of people need to realize Care Bears can have teeth. Care Bears can fight back. Care Bears, you should fight back. So, yeah, the weakening part, I understand. But again, we're gonna test all of that out. We're gonna test all of that out. Corruption is ganking, not open world PvP. Killing low level players or players that aren't fighting back isn't open world PvP. Correct. If you're hitting somebody and you do 50% of the damage and their damage bar crumbles to half and it doesn't look like they're gonna flag up and fight back, stop hitting them. Don't get the corruption. Come here. So, I would show you guys this one. Hold on. I'll try to show you guys this one. This one doesn't like being picked up. She's a feral. Her mom was carrying her when she was a kitten, and she got thrown. Her mom got hit by a car and got thrown onto hot asphalt. She's actually missing toes. So, you letting me hold you today? Aw. Oh, you're all purry. You interested about Ashes? You just want to be put down? Whatever, man. Just put me down, please. But yeah, her mom died. She got thrown on a hot asphalt. My wife's co-worker found her when she was a kitten. Couldn't get her out of the car because the cat crawled underneath the seat. Was all torn up, bloody, cut up, torn up. Pads on her feet were burned. Missing toes, like literally toes got pulled out. I had to reach underneath I needed to reach under the car seat with thick leather gloves, pulled her out. I was off work that day. I took her over to the base vet, And it was like an emergency. I walked in. The base vet looked at the cat and was like, the only thing I can do for this cat is put it down. This cat's going to cost you thousands of dollars to get taken care of. I said, all right, well, I'm not going to let you put the cat down. I'm out of here. Went back home. Had some experience with some animals. Not a ton, but got her cleaned up, got all the asphalt pulled off of her. That was not a pleasant experience for either one of us. Cleaned up her paws, cleaned her up, and put her in a Tupperware box, right? Because I had my other two cats. And the other two cats were great. They wanted to know what was in there. And it took her about a week and a half to heal. And then I let her out. I introduced her to the boys. And then I left for OTS. And my wife was sending me pictures of the little one with my cat. The kitten just followed my cat around everywhere he went. And so now she's been a part of the family for like 11 years. Do you think it would be possible to monopolize a gatherable with the current corruption system? No. I don't think it would be possible to monopolize a gatherable. Because you never know where that gatherable is going to respawn. That gatherable can respawn in the same node. That gatherable can respawn 15 nodes over. So no, I don't think you're going to be able to monopolize that. Envelope. Yes, guys, there's a treasure chest event going on. Fill it up with paradox points, and then I open the envelope. I don't know what's in there. Secret. Will you be able to heal the caravan? That we don't know. We don't know if you're going to be able to heal the caravan, or if the caravan has to get there in one piece. Or if the caravan regens. There's lots of bits and pieces there. We don't know. If you join a server and you put in 2,000 hours and the server dies, will you just have to roll a character on a new server? No, Spaceman42. They're not going to be doing server transfers because of the investment that you make in your character with your server. But what they are going to be doing is server merges if the time comes. Obviously, guys, when I tell you that you don't want to be a douche canoe on your server and drive your population low, the reason why is because you want to avoid having a server merge. So if you think it's a good idea to be running around ganking all the new players, then all of a sudden you find out, oh shit, you lost half of your character sheet because you're getting augments from a level 5 divine node. You're getting augments from being a bishop in your religion. You drive your server population so low by being a douchebag that your server gets merged. Guess what? A lot of your shit goes away because when you go to that new server, ta-da, it's a clean server. You got to start over. Not with your character. You're going to have your gear, you're going to have your level, but your horizontal progression, you're going to have to wait until you get a level 5 divine node. You don't get to keep the augment where you're not a citizen. You know what I'm saying? We just wait and see. Maybe we'll get expansion classes. I would say we would get expansion classes, but not within like 5 years. That's going to be something that would take them a long, long time to do. Can we have like different levels? Can we have like different levels that level 50 guys can't attack level 30 in open world PvP? No, but the level 50, if he attacks you in open world PvP, just stand there and take it and let him have a 20 level differential corruption gain. That'll be good for him. That'll be a lot of nice, tasty corruption for the ganker. It would be safe to assume killing 5+ unprovoked will lead towards a high enough corruption score to reduce damage and gain stronger as it goes. But after 1 and 2 kills, bounty hunters will have already flagged after you. I think it would be a very bad assumption to assume it's going to take 5 kills to reduce your damage by like 5 to 10%. I think that'd be a really bad assumption, actually. I think your stat reduction is going to start slowly, almost immediately. And Phoenix Initiative testing, they said they automatically turned purple when attacking a green. Yes. Good question for a couple of things. Number one, remember, it's PI testing. There's a lot of systems not in place in PI testing. The inertial system isn't there. People have got to remember there is I don't want to do a class on agile software development because I never used agile software development. I used agile process improvement. You build something, you test it, you run the circle. At the end of the circle, does it pass, yes or no? If yes, you add the next thing you've built and the next thing you've built and the next thing you've built. If no, you go back and rework. The big thing for Alpha 1 is that they want to make sure the back end works. I mean, they haven't come out and said it, but knowing the history, their big thing for Alpha 1 is making sure the back end is ready. And then all the other things. So I would not worry about bugs, flaws, issues. When a combatant PvPs another combatant, there is no corruption to be gained. Correct. If you go as a combatant and kill a non-combatant, then you get corruption. If you do that a lot, you have a higher chance to lose gear and your character gets weaker. Yes. I could live with that, but I still feel it's unnecessary to have the weakening. I'll think twice if I kill someone if I may lose my gear. Yeah, the problem is, Bronze, I know what you're saying, but you don't have that combat penalty versus the bounty hunters. So your quasi-faction war is still on fair ground. You might be a level 50 effectively working as a level 42 versus other combatants and non-combatants. But against a bounty hunter, your combat efficiency is level 50. So keep that in mind. The weakening part is that your killing spree has to come to an end. Your murdering spree has to come to an end. You could spend all day murdering. You could be level 50 and spend all day murdering noobs in the spawn zone. But eventually a level 1 is going to kill you. And then you've literally just crushed your character. Because you have that much corruption. You're going to get that much negative experience. And you might have to die multiple times to clear all that corruption. So, if I meet you in the open world and we're both max level, I can attack you and kill you without getting corrupted? No. If I'm level 50 non-combatant and you're level 50 combatant and you kill me, you're corrupted. Releasing new classes seems a waste. I feel like most people in like 2 years of playing will not be able to explore the classes currently planned. I agree. I don't want to see them release any new classes, only because, truthfully, you have to start over. In Final Fantasy, it's okay when they release new classes because you can get that new class on your character. In Arcade, when they release a new skill tree, it's okay because you can get that new skill tree. In Ashes, because primary class is locked, we don't have that problem. I'm gonna speed and go. Some of these answers are gonna be short. If I can do them as yes and no's, I am, because I'm about 10 minutes behind. Can you go back to town flagged? No. That's easy. Cat aggro, yes. I'm not 100% sure. If I'm not 100% sure that I will win, I'll never hit back. I'd rather let them have the corruption. Yes, exactly. Good. Do you think players could be scouts, pathfinders, try to find new veins or resources, or locate enemy caravans? Yes. There will be a need for people who just find new resource spawns and they find caravan routes. My cat wants to play a Telnar. Yes, she does. It would be interesting though for that to happen and the person being attacked and waits for the attacker to waste their mana and then attack back and have a chance at killing them. Yes. I agree. You got to be careful when you try to wombo combo somebody, because if you burn all your mana and it's a healer and then they heal up to full and then flag, you might... I mean, that's the part where you should probably stop. Hold on. Come on, guys. Killing the show flow. You want to go out? Okay, then you lay down. Take a nap. My wife's cat's looking for my cat. I'm back there on that wall. I'm gonna put a hole in the wall and I'm gonna put a cat door, and then they're gonna come and go as they want. Although the jerks will probably just keep scratching at the door. Let's see. If a combatant attacks a non-combatant's mule, does that mean you get their loot pinata and become corrupted in the process? Yes. Attacking a mule counts as attacking a mule counts as attacking a non-combatant. Attacking a caravan is a meaningful theme. If the person tries to damage a player who is fighting an NPC but doesn't deal the killing blow, would they get corrupted? Okay, for all the people trying to dick around in that little gray area, it's real simple. Stop trying to dick around in that little gray area where you attack somebody that's fighting a monster and you take them down to 5% and then the monster kills them. All you're doing is making it really easy for me to make the argument that everybody involved in the attack should get the corruption, regardless. If the person dies within 30 seconds of you hitting them, you all should get corruption. Don't dick around in that cheese dick area of, I'm going to grief you and let the mob kill you. Because if the more people I see advocate for that sort of shitbird behavior, I will just advocate to Steven, hey, let's fix this loophole with a big, giant fuck you to those people. If you want to kill somebody, man up, put your big boy pants on, put your big girl panties on, kill them and take the corruption. Don't try to be a cheese dick in the gray area, take the person down to 2% and let the mob kill him. That makes you the absolute worst kind of ganker, and it just proves to me you have zero PvP skill. So, don't do it. Don't do it. And then I won't have to make it so everybody involved in the attack gets the corruption, because that will be my position paper. Don't do it. Just don't do it. If you kill at max level as a max level, even if they stay combatant, you get very little corruption. Okay, don't say very little corruption because we don't know. If you're a max level and you kill a max level, you will get corruption. The problem is if you, because there's a variable in there. If you're a max level and you kill a max level, yes, you will get very little corruption. Unless you've got a lot of PKs on your soul, and then you could get a lot of corruption for one max level to max level kill, because you're a murderer. You're a known murderer. The system says, well, Jahlon, you've got 0 PKs and you just had to kill that guy. You get 1 corruption point. Versus, Jahlon, you've killed 5,000 player characters. You've never done any of the quests to work off that 5,000 kill count. Yeah, the guy was max level, but congratulations, you're getting like 700 corruption points because you're a murderer. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's 2 variables there. Where can I download this game? Nowhere. This game is not eligible to be played right now. It's in pre-alpha testing. This is my Q&A session about it. We need more people to ask about the next Jahlon interview in the Q&A suggestion thread. Yes. If you don't have a question of your own to ask in the question thread, I linked the thread. Go there, and if you don't have your own question to ask the question, Jahlon interviews Steven again in 2020, ? Just make it something about the interview. Just make so many posts about the interview. This is called social mobilization. This is called grassroots development. 250 and oh, did you give away another sub? Yeah, look at you guys go. I've got so many emotes now from you guys giving away stuff. Is there any information about the min-max requirements for the game yet? Okay, there is. Here is the specs. There are the specs. Remember, those are for alpha. I would not build my new computer yet. There is going to be at least 1 more full tech cycle. Okay? The first tech cycle coming out is the 3080s dropping, next month? And that's kind of what I'm waiting on. Somebody told me I'm waiting on like 3 things. I don't do technology. I usually just I tell a couple of close friends of mine, hey, I need a new PC. Give me the best of everything. Give me the best of absolutely everything. And they just tell me and I build it and then it usually sits there. But I know people, I was like, yeah, I'm buying my new PC. And they're all like, my friends, they're like, no, at least wait till the 3080s. And I was like, why? I'm not buying a 3080. Then I saw the 3090s. Woo! I might wait for the 3090, put that in the streaming machine, and then we might be done. Let's see. How far are they going to go with the party system? Are they going to allow party members to deposit goods in a party member's mule directly if set up that way? If not, are there any unique interactions like that planned? Emberstone, that's a good question, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if you're going to be able to put stuff in their mule or not. I mean, I wouldn't see why you couldn't. But Do you think guilds should be able to gain corruption? Maybe if enough of their players have enough corruption. No, because you shouldn't. I don't. What is so hard about the concept that corruption is bad? You don't want to have corruption, so you definitely wouldn't want to be in. You definitely wouldn't want to be in a guild that, like, by membership of the guild, you get corruption. That would be an interesting mechanic. That would be an interesting mechanic, that if the guild's corruption score exceeds too many points, the entire guild becomes corrupted. That would be interesting. I don't think that guild would have very many non-griefing PKers though. Maybe write that one down. You know what? I'm sold on that one. Corruption for the entire guild. For entire guild. If guild corruption / PK count goes too high. That might be, you know, yeah, my brain is already spinning on that one. I like that one. I like that one. That actually might be a good thing now that I take the other side. See, remember, guys, every argument has technically 3 sides because there's 3 sides to every coin. If you flip a coin enough times, it will land on the edge, as improbable as it is. I definitely could see that as maybe a good thing. You have a guild that's constantly going corrupt and killing people, and their corruption banked score gets so high that the entire guild flags, and then all of a sudden there's like this big red whoomp on the map, and every bounty hunter in the world is like, let's go get some. Yeah, that might be something. That might be one of those things you just throw up as a paper and send to Steven. Hey, collective punishment, like the army. Yeah. So say a mage is fighting a boss or elite monster on a road, and a new player walks into the AoE. Does the mage become a combatant? No, you have to flag to hit other people. So people can dance in your AoE all they want. They can't flag you. What does backend mean? Backend is all the server architecture, how the game runs. It's how you have a lot of people in one place, which is a really important thing for Ashes of Creation if they want to get above that 250 versus 250 for castle sieges, which I want them to. I want them to get above 250 versus 250 so that we know that guild size is going to get above 300. If the castle sieges are only 250 versus 250, then I think the guild system has to change, because I don't think you should be able to take your own castle with your own guild. You should need allies. That was one of the things that sold me on it originally. How long do you think it will take for the game to be theory crafted in such a way that a min-max meta occurs regarding exactly which nodes to invest in? Never. You will never min-max out the game to a point where you know which nodes to invest in, because it's not just the nodes, it's the things in the nodes. And if they're balancing it correctly, it's the nodes, it's the social organizations, it's your race, it's your class, it's your build, it's your armor, it's your weapon. Will there be a meta? Yes, there will always be a meta. And for all the people who try to take the position of Intrepid's making it so there is no meta, bullshit. Meta is an acronym. It stands for most efficient tactic available. There will always be something that is more efficient than the other things. What Intrepid is doing is Intrepid is designing their game in such a way where the differential between meta and second place is so narrow that you get to play what you enjoy versus feeling compelled to dive into the meta. For example, Archage, Blood Thrall, good class if you know how to play it. Really good healer class if you know how to play it. Does it work? In Arena, it does. In Open World, it does not. Is it meta? No. Why? Because it doesn't do Battle Rage as well as Dark Runner, and it doesn't do healing as well as Confessor. So the meta is too large. The differential between Blood Thrall and Confessor is too big. You got to give up too much for too little. Archage, are you playing melee? Yes. You're playing Dark Runner. But I want to play... No, you didn't hear me. You're playing Dark Runner. But, okay, whatever you're playing that's not Dark Runner is cool, but you're nowhere near the meta. So, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think
I don't think Intrepid is going to make it so you have to be, all right, if you're going to be a fighter and you want to be the meta, you have to be a fighter that lives in a stage 4 military node, and you're a Renkai, and you're a member of Religion 3, and you got to be a bishop, and you're in the Thieves Guild, and you got to be a captain. I don't think Steven's going to allow his game to get to the point where they've broken the meta that bad. Because that would be bad. That would suck. That would be horrible. Let's see. The thing about camping weaker players, right now I feel with all the info about the map being so huge, don't think camping will ever be a thing. Or am I overseeing something? Camping will be a thing because there will be points of interest that the people are trying to go to. The problem is that you won't be camping the players at a respawn. You'll be guarding the point of interest. So I'm going to use, this isn't the best map for this, but I don't have a map example for this. So here you go. Here's my map, right? This is my map of my nodes by the sea example. And you see that ring of dead trees in the south by southeast. There's a ring of dead trees. Say that's a gathering point. There's dead ancient trees there, and that those big ones in the middle, they spawn as a gathering site, one of those nodes that can be hit multiple times. You're not going to be trying to camp people at the respawns because there's no value in that. But what you might be doing is you might be camping that dead tree spawn because it has, and these are my bullshit numbers, there's 50,000 dead ancient tree logs in that. And once it's done, it's done. So you wouldn't be camping the spawns, but you would be camping the shit out of that spot. You'd be on the phone with your gatherers. Hey, like Frost is out there. Frost is one of my officers. He's a scout. He gets on, well, he'd probably get right on my phone, actually. He calls me on the phone. Hey, man, those dead ancient logs we've been looking for, we just found a spawn of them, 50,000. All right, get them moving. Rapid response team, everybody descend upon that spot. Where are my master gatherers? My master gatherers, you are the only people hitting that. Where are my master lumberjacks? Oh, all 7 of you are online? All right, everybody else, you're on defense. The master lumberjacks are going to hit that because they have the highest probability of extra procs. Everybody else, concentric circles. My big PvPers, I don't want anybody getting near here. Nobody gets near here. Are we clear to go corrupt? Yes, for the next 2 hours, go corrupt. I don't want anybody to even see this spot. That's where you're going to be camping. You're not going to be camping people at a respawn point. That's just pointless. There's no value in that. The map looks sick. Yeah, guys, so that you know, I make my own things. It is incarnate. I use incarnate. I think that when I'm making a teaching tool, you guys deserve good resources. Guys, I realize I have fallen so far back. I do apologize. What I'm going to do here, there's a repost line. I fell far behind. Please repost your questions. It just happens. I get far behind. I do apologize. The other place that you can throw your questions is there's a questions box in the bottom. So the person that put one down there, is there any benefit in having corruption, hidden title, items, etc.? No, there is no benefit to corruption. Steven doesn't want any benefit to corruption. With that said, there might be something to be said for how you did while corrupted, but I doubt it. They don't want there to be corruption. They don't want there to be a benefit to corruption, because corruption, while corruption is in fact one of the themes in the PvP theme box, it's there to stop the game from becoming a gank box or a murder box. Repost. I heard Steven say that bosses will drop crafting certificates, not complete items. Will the loot drama in AOC be as bad as WoW? Yes. You guys got to realize that every class can use every weapon. Every class can wear every armor. So how do you tell people that they can't have what drops? How do you tell people that they can't have the craftable item? So yes, guess what? It's not loot drama. It's not loot drama if it's a good guild working together. If I tell Frost that the Dragon's Eye, because I'm going to have kind of an idea of where stuff is going to go. I'm going to, like my guild, maybe at one point we're doing auction. You got to buy the drops from the guild, and whoever has the bigger wallet gets the drop. Maybe we're doing straight DKP. Maybe we're doing Suicide King's DKP. Maybe we're doing, you know, Loot Council. It all depends on where we are at our development. And that's going to be a guild to guild specific thing. I'm not going to tell you how to run your guild. I will, if you're a guild leader and you want to talk, I'll tell you in a one-on-one chat. I'll give you some ideas for how to set up your guild, but I'm not gonna say there's not gonna be loot drama, because there's gonna be loot drama. There's gonna be loot drama. Do we have a good idea on how they're balancing time to kill for PvP? What seems slightly strange to gank as a rogue and take 30 seconds to kill someone, not to stealthy anymore when they watch you hit them for 20 seconds. Rogues are not WoW rogues. That is not their function. That is not their role. WoW rogues, Archage Dark Runners, are a bullshit class. You should not die in 3 seconds. That's bullshit. Okay? So how are rogues going to play? I don't know. Keep in mind that this is the stealth for rogues. You're seen. You're visible. You have the Predator Shroud. You don't have full invisibility. You can't be behind me in stealth dancing the Macarena and I can't see you. I can see you. Rogues will probably be closer to the 30-second floor. If a rogue builds their build to be all gank, no tank, they'll probably penetrate the 30-second floor, but they'll penetrate it both ways. A rogue could probably build into moving that 30-second time to kill lower by sacrificing their own ability to survive for 30 seconds. So, but yeah, this bullshit where you're dead before you have time to react, that's not what Steven wants. That's not what Intrepid wants. So because that's not what they want, that's just not what there's just not going to be that. So that is that simple. Why the hell am I getting pinged? Like why are people pinging me on Discord while I'm streaming from the questions chat? You got a question? Just come here and ask the question. For example, League of Legends balances imbalances its game every few weeks, so the meta always changes. Does Ashes of Creation also have this vision, or will it be towards meta stability? Keep in mind, League of Legends is not an MMORPG. The way you balance and keep a MOBA fresh is way different than the way you keep an MMORPG fresh. Remember, there are people who spend literally years refining their character to the point that it can do what it can do. There's some videos on my YouTube of me tanking as a cleric that didn't happen overnight, that didn't happen in 2 months. That happened over the course of 6 months and getting a full rack of head toughness gems. MOBAs can be balanced quicker because you can get a lot more data in a lot less time. There's also a lot less configurations in MOBAs for character to character. Plus, they can pull data from a MOBA and look at it like, because you know every MOBA has its S ranks, its A ranks, its B ranks. They can pull data from the server very quickly to say, okay, when Jahlon fights Steven, give me all the data on all the Jahlon fights versus all the Steven fights from everybody that's at gold or higher. They can get that data. It's a lot more difficult to balance in an MMO. Do you think communities will still end up trying to require certain classes for certain encounters in the way that Final Fantasy XI had required job combinations to get the most efficient skill change based on the mobs? It's hard to avoid people being people, unfortunately. Wandering Duck, that is a great question. Yes, there are going to be narrow-sighted guild leaders who try to be power junkies and control everything. That is the difference between a manager and a leader. There will be times that you need a specific class. For example, Final Fantasy XI. If we're farming, I want a bard as my puller. I want a bard as my puller because bar none, a bard is the best puller. And I'm talking Treasures of At Urgan, that era. So if you're familiar with that era, I want a bard puller out in the woods for the dragonflies because I want to chain to 600 because I want to go from level 70 to level 75 in like 2 hours. I want that specific situation. However, keep in mind, freedom of choice. If you're in a guild with a guild leader that's trying to dictate all your decisions, find a new guild. It's easy to try to say don't be a cheese dick, but people will do it anyway. True. True. Whilst I hope there's no mechanical benefits, I think wanted posters spawning in town and taverns would be cool. That would be cool. In fact, people with bounties will appear on boards. Repost. If I'm corrupted, does killing another corrupted player reduce my corruption? On the chart it says no change, but XP gains work off corruption and you get XP gains for PvP. No. I don't think you get XP gains for killing other players. That would be way too simple to exploit and max level very quickly. And no, it doesn't reduce your... Well, it might, if you got XP, it would reduce your corruption, but I don't think you get XP for killing other players. I think you get XP for PvP events, but not for just randomly killing other players. How are they going to balance boss gear compared to crafted? Because if crafted is better, then what's the point of killing bosses? Because they're going to make boss dropped gear on the same tier as crafted? The benefit to corruption is that you can kill people and take their stuff, so you have to balance it properly. Yes. Crafters will be your best source of weapons and armor. No. Top dropped gear is the same as topped crafted gear. The freedom with crafting is that you can put the exact stats in the exact ratio you want on the gear with the dial system. So keep that in mind. Best is not one or the other. Best is equal, but you have to accept that you can use boss dropped materials to make very specialized crafted gear where you have to accept the gear from the bosses as is. So low soulbound items. Yes, there are very few soulbound items. If 10 people ambush a caravan carrying 100 times their backpack space, how do you think this raiding party would hope to collect the caravan certificates? That's really easy. Caravans don't drop the actual resource. They drop vouchers for what was loaded on the caravan. It is a bit of a magic pencil fix to the situation, but to stop people from using caravan drops to run around the world with these redemption certificates, you have to go back to the point of origin. So if you launch a caravan with 10,000 logs in it, and your caravan gets destroyed, those people got to scoop those certificates. They have to take them back to the node you launched it from to get the logs. If you launched the caravan from your freehold, you would still take it back to the node that freehold is attached to, because that would be its economic point of origin. You forgot I was streaming? Well, that's why you got to turn notifications on. Isn't this an MMO of blob Zerb guilds that only rely on numbers, not quality? No, this is actually not Zerg numbers at all. And since there is no fast travel, you better have the numbers you need with you, because you can't get the numbers to you quickly. Also, there is, the talk of the devs. I think the devs have said a number of times there's a bunch of anti-Zerg mechanics. So... you probably got the wrong game, my friend. Ashes of Creation is based around 8-person party, not solo battles. Think rock, paper, scissors. think paper, rock, scissors, lizard, Spock. Yes. Don't forget the bomb. The bomb blows up paper, the bomb blows up rocks, but scissors cuts the fuse on the bomb. Yes, the larger the guild, the less guild buffs. So if you decide to go with a 300-person guild, you can't have any guild buffs. That's another one. Speed rounds. Self-healing ought to be rare then. Otherwise, with a time to kill of 30 seconds to a minute, self-healing could lead to being invulnerable from open world PvP. Open world 1v1 PvP. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't know why a level 50 tank thinks he can kill a level 50 healer. You're not supposed to be able to. I don't know why a level 50 mage thinks he's entitled to kill a level 50 healer. He's not entitled to. A level 50 healer should be able to look at one person and be like, nah, bitch, you ain't killing me. I don't know where in the history people got it in their head that damage dealers are entitled to kills. If you're not good enough to weave in your healing debuffs and your CCs and your mana drains and all the other things you need to do to burn a healer, then you don't have any claim to a 1v1 kill rate. Make my hydrate cheaper? No, I had to make my hydrate more expensive because I'm on pace with my, because I know where I'm going. Usually I would have already taken a break for extra water, but I'm going to the hibachi place, so I don't want to have too much water. I want today's my food day, so I don't want a lot of water in there. No, it's not going to be cheaper. I drink a lot. I drink enough on my own. You guys were drowning me the other day. Anyway, damage dealers got it in their head that they're entitled to have kills. No, not against 1v1s. A healer should not kill you because you should disengage. A tank should not kill you because a damage dealer should have more jukes than a tank does. If the game is balanced right, a level 50, all assuming equal play skill, and all assuming equal gear, then a healer shouldn't be able to kill a tank shouldn't be able to kill a damage dealer shouldn't be able to kill a healer. Nobody should be able to kill each other 1v1 at level 50. If you do, then you have an improperly balanced system. The moment you start with an improperly balanced system, at some point, okay, that has a ripple effect into group combat. So, keep that in mind. The reason why 1v1 shouldn't matter is because 1v1, you shouldn't be killing me. Now, it becomes a matter of skill differential or gear differential. If I'm a healer with 10,000 gear points, and you're a rogue with 5,000 gear points, I should kill you. You should literally pay the price. You're like, I attack you and I banish you to death. Okay? So, keep that stuff in mind. Gear is 40 to 50%. Gear is 40 to 50% of your character's power. Let's see, is there going to be a weight limit on inventory, or will it just be inventory slots? For gatherables and craftables, for gatherables and processed goods, there is going to be a limit, but we don't know if it's weight or volume or quantity. They're still figuring out which way they want to do that for gatherables and processed goods. So a 10k DPS could not kill a 10k healer. Correct. A 10k DPS should not be able to kill a 10k healer. Because assuming equal player skill, that should be a standoff forever. That should simply be a standoff forever. The damage dealer does more damage than the healer. However, the healer has the ability to heal back at the equal rate. The way it should work is they should either not be able to kill each other, or they should both die at exactly the same time. If neither makes a mistake. If neither makes a mistake, they should die at the same time. The trick is that the 10k DPS, who's a damage dealer, should be able to disengage from the cleric and say, I didn't realize we were so equally skilled and we're equally geared, so I now use my jukes to disengage. That is the benefit that the damage dealers should have. They should have more mobility in disengagements. Is there a benefit for killing a mayor? Nope. Will a rare master drop for a crafter drop even without a master crafter in a party, or is it less of a chance? It's not going to matter for the drop on who's in the party. It's going to matter. So the boss dies, right? The drops are going to drop based on the loot table. Rogues do not influence the boss drop table. Rogues only influence the loot table in so much as you can find extra loot in the dungeon with the rogue's utility skill. However, if you have a master gatherer in the party and that boss dies, you might get, again, these are my numbers, you might get 2 pieces of gear, 2 crafting materials, and then you have this corpse. Now, the corpse might give 3 items if a miner hits it. It might give 1 item if a lumberjack hits it. It might give 2 items if an herbalist gathers from it. The boss corpses are going to be a source of materials as well. Let's see. I mean, I came in here late, but while gear is a big deal, I feel 1,000 gear level versus its counterclass with 500 gear level would be somewhat equal if the player's skill are on the same level. Yes, but you've changed 2 variables in there now, and you've gone one tier down. you've unbalanced the gear levels, and you've specifically pitted, you've gone into the counterclass argument. That isn't the argument I was making on the top. The argument I was making on the top was the pure balance from the starting day one position, is that if you start with imbalance at stage one, the ripple effect is that you have imbalance through the rest of the game. So you're not standing in square one, Dolam. You've moved down to about square 10, because you're talking a 200% gear difference with a hard counter. So yeah, that is a conversation we can have. Where does gear allow you to beat your hard counter? Do you have to have twice as much gear? And again, we're always going with the perfect players. We're having two perfect AI fighting each other that are incapable of mistake. Because a lot of things people forget is a mistake can be capitalized on. So you can have a 2,000 gear score differential and be the underdog, and somebody makes a mistake and pops a buff too early, or you get a proc. And I hate when it's based on a proc. So let's not say it's based on a proc. Let's say it's based on your enemy pops a defensive cooldown too soon, and then you just can let their cooldown, you can let their buff roll through and hit them then with something they have no counter to. Keep in mind, skill is always a factor. Mistakes are always a factor. There's one flaw in your theory. You missed the player skill and PvP experience. No, Booma, when I have that discussion, it's always based on two perfectly skilled players that don't make mistakes, because you capitalize on a mistake. Would you say that healers in Arcade were badly balanced? Yes, absolutely I would. Doesn't the mayor get the flying mount? Only the 5 mayors of the 5 metropolis get the flying mounts. Guys, if you didn't notice, I've closed the questions. I will grab the ones that I can get, but I am short on time. I do have to be somewhere tonight. In my state, we have to make a reservation to eat at a restaurant. We can't just walk in, and so if you're not there on time, you lose your seat. So take this opportunity before we leave. Make sure you hit follow. I am going to try to get the rest of these questions, but when the clock strikes midnight, the rabbit has to disappear. Are you worried that most fights end up like Blood DK versus Paladin duels, 15 minutes with them both being full hit points and bored? I mean, no, I don't, because it gives you 15 minutes to figure out what works and what doesn't. I see mayors as champions. There should be a perk to killing, right? No. There's never a perk to murdering people. I guess I'm going to have to keep saying it. There's never a perk to murdering people. There's never a perk to murdering people. Let's see. Has there been any confirmation on Notorious Monsters, high Notorious Monsters? I always made my money in Final Fantasy 11 as a Notorious Monster Hunter. Yes, so did I. Stray Mary was my bitch. I know there will be world bosses and such, but has there been any smaller rare spawns that would be soloable at various levels? Yes, they've talked about elite mobs. I don't know if they're going to be Notorious Monsters like we were used to in Final Fantasy 11, but I definitely could see the elite mobs having flavor like that. All right. Hey, Paradox. Hey, what's up? Yo, guys. What's up? What's up? Hey, what's up? If you guys weren't here at the beginning of the show, what's up? New emotes. Round 2. Round 2. I'm pretty stoked for those. Let's see. Is there going to be a weight limit on inventory, or will it just be inventory slots? I answered this. They don't know what they're going to do yet. They don't know if there's not going to be a weight limit on your inventory. There is going to be a weight limit on your gatherables and your processed goods. They don't know if they're going to do quantity, volume, or weight yet. So let's see. I got a couple of minutes. Do the mayors have more risk due to the better rewards they receive? No. The mayors in combat, Their risk isn't in combat. Their risk is in the political arena. So, I recall a video where Steven said he wanted to avoid weight limits and items would be quantity limited. I like weight limits personally, reason I recall. Yes, but that has changed based on some things that have been brought up. That's another one of those, what Steven said in 2017 and 2018 is a little bit different than what Steven has said in 2020. There's a reason why weight versus volume versus quantity is different, and it has to do with the complexity of the system. Let's see. This game is going to be extremely hard to balance with this many skills. How long the time to kill is? Yes, that's the point. They're not balancing for 1v1. They're balancing for 8v8. They're balancing for group content. Why does the enemy have an E pop up when he walks up to it? If that was the caravan, it's right now that's the systems that is in place. When you raid a caravan, you have to E to it to activate it. That will change as they iterate. So absolute perfect skill level, knowing that gear accounts for 50% of the power of a character. Obviously, you don't know the numbers or the details needed to be accurate, but where do you think would be a good difference for hard counter and class power advantage? Well, it's more than just that. It's also a matter of which gear am I wearing? Remember, in Arcage had a gear counter. If you wanted to counter melee, you wore plate. If you wanted to counter magic, you wore cloth. So you're talking a system where it's not only your class versus your class. So real quick, this is just me making shit up for the example. The very common one. Rogues are the hard counter to mages. So the mage, knowing that he has to go somewhere where he's going to face a lot of rogues, decides I'm not going to wear robes. I'm going to wear plate. And now the mage has become the hard counter to the rogues because he changed his armor. Now, if the rogues know the plate-wearing Jahlon mage is coming, they might wear cloth because now they've balanced the situation. If I'm a fire mage, and you know I'm a fire mage, and you know my whole guild stacks fire mage because we use some weird wonky ass like wave after wave. Let's say there's a fire wave skill, and we've put all of our points and all of our tactic into using a push mechanic of bulwarks, fire wave, bulwarks, fire wave, and that's how we control the battle. We get you pushed in like the Boltons, and then we drop fire on you. Well, you decide to spec armor gems fire resistance. Now you're our hard counter because now we're trying to push you and you don't have to move back because you're not worried about the fire wave. So there's a lot. This game isn't just a simple matter of this class versus this class. These are my rocks. These are my papers. These are my scissors. These are my rocks. These are my papers. These are my scissors. But these guys I lose to on a coin toss, and these guys I win against on a 6-sided die throw. And these guys I usually lose against, but I can win if I draw black on a 52 deck card draw, but I lose if I draw a face card. And you're like, how the hell do you balance that? And I have no idea how you balance something that complicated, and I wish Intrepid all the best in the world. Last question. Will Dispel be a useful spell to counter in PvP? I don't know, because I haven't seen 4 of the classes, and I've only seen the tab abilities of 4 of the classes. So, with that said, boom. Oh, that looks so much better. I still need another light here. I need more light here. More light. Need more lights. All right, guys. I got to get out of here early today. Usually I'll go for at least 4 hours when I stream. But to make it up to you guys, I'm going to stream tomorrow night. Been having a fun time. Like I said, though, really weird thing. I'm taking a military family out to dinner tonight. The dad's deployed, so I'm going to go do that. That's always been a big thing for me. With that said, guys, across the board, I'm going to shamelessly shill. One shameless shill to rule them all. If you haven't signed up for Ashes of Creation yet, because you haven't been sold on it, if you're sold on it today, I just put my referral link in there. I do get a kickback if you sign up through my code. Beyond that, go to the YouTube, follow me on Twitter, go to Ashes 101. I'd love to hear your feedback on Ashes 101. And then, of course, if you want to talk more, grab me on Discord. Thanks to the people who dropped me questions beforehand. Thank you for bringing them over to the stream. That really helped me out. In the future, if you want to ask some questions, drop them in advance so I can bring them over with me. Until then, guys, you take care. I'm going to dinner. I'm going to go get fat.